Wait, Cheese is here? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool.
Are we audible?
We should be audible, yeah.
Uh-oh. No.
I'm just snoozing the ring cam so it doesn't buzz while everything's going on. Okay, Bean, can you go ahead and just hit switch? Perfect.
He went the wrong way.
Did it? Oh, he did. Well, yeah, well, okay. Ruined the illusion, Bean. Hi!
Hello.
Wag, 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 wag. Hello, it's Sunday. It's May the 5th. If you're not aware, my name's Odin.
And I'm Dan.
And I am completely brain dead and fully tired.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. In fact, Felicia is as well, which is why she's not here today. Yeah, hi. So let's see. What all did I try and get done in the last 2 days that was just overreaching? I've got a full-time job, so I did that on Friday. Followed up by, as quickly as possible, throwing everything together into the truck and driving it out to another local little con that was happening, just over in Rancho Cordova, right? So it's not that far. It wasn't a huge drive for me, but there was a small window for early setup that was 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. That was it. Now, originally they told us 7:30. Well, actually, originally they told us 7, and then they sent out stuff and said it was going to be 7:30, and then we get there, and oh yeah, by the way, it's 7. So all right. After that, so get all that set up, right? And part of loading the truck, I had to read the last of the things I needed for the video, like all the materials used in this video are posted in the link in the description, or whatever it is I say. You know, and I want to thank all my Patreon supporters. Without my Patreon supporters, I wouldn't have a channel. Stuff like that. So I got all that done and some of the beauty shots, which was all on my phone, which bugged me later because it was totally different color balance. So then I set up for the con, grab a little bit of dinner, and go back home, where I now have to finish the video because I really want it to come out on the 4th. That took me 6.5 hours, 7 hours. So I ended up going to bed about 3:45 in the morning.
Wow.
This is why all of a sudden my video gets posted as being coming out on the 5th. Because I'm like, yeah, that looks right. No. So then I get up at 6:30, 2.5 hours later, so I can go to the con and maybe actually be there by 8. Yeah.
Ralph says we are really loud.
Are we loud? Are we loud? Okay.
No, I'm gonna do that.
I'm sorry. I'll turn it down a couple times. Is that better? By the way, I'm still really tired and brain dead.
Yeah. We both are.
Right. So not really trying to complain or anything. It was just put in a ton of effort, a full day's worth of effort, more, right? I haven't pulled an all-nighter type thing trying to get stuff done, since the last time I put a video out. So apparently that's the way I just do it. Video comes out, happy with the video. The con, happy with the con. We'll talk about that probably a little bit more later. And after the con, and I knew this was coming up, after the con was over, so I was the last one out because I'm still interacting with people. Even though they let us tear down an hour early, I was still the last, almost person out of the building. Like the runners of the con had the majority of their stuff out before I was. Last night for May the 4th, my friends with the band Warp 11 had their final concert. It was going to be their All Good Things final concert. And they were going to be performing, they did perform at the Boardwalk, which is it's a venue up in Orangevale, California. And this was supposedly going to be it. It still probably will. They tease about, this is the final one until the reunion, until Warp 11, the next generation. Warp 11, by the way, is a Star Trek parody band. So, yeah, 2 hours of sleep, had a con, get out to the concert, managed to get in because didn't have tickets. Shop Roman nicely convinced me, well, we'll just go and hang out outside and you'll be able to see all the old friends and all the people that I used to hang out with all the time. Because Warp 11's been around 25 years. This came out of play, right? That's where Warp 11 came from. So we'll just go hang out front because there's a balcony in front of the boardwalk where they allow you to hang out and smoke, and they they only ticket or check tickets at the door, not at the balcony. So I was like, okay, great, we can go do that. That sounds great. Managed to luck out, and both of us get in through the generosity of 2 other people who had extra tickets. So I got to go to the show, watch the entire double set show where Warp 11 also opened for themselves dressed as Star Wars with this funky band they called Hyperdrive 12, where it was just their normal songs with different lyrics. It was, it was crap. It was great. It was meant to be crap. And then they played a double set where they just played basically selected songs from their entire 8-album discography. In reverse order, basically, where the very last song they played of the night was the very first song they played 25 years ago. And then we hung out and talked to them afterwards. I got home at like 2 or 3 in the morning. Yeah, barely woke up with enough time to get my butt down here and get the stream started today. Hi everyone, how's it going?
This is how Odin lives.
This is this is how Odin stretches himself way thin. And of course, I'm saying all this like, oh, boo-hoo me. Well, I don't really mean boo-hoo me. I think you guys get that I'm not trying to say that. Because Felicia got out there and managed to do the con, and she's not feeling terribly well. And Dan got out there and managed to do the con, and he's not feeling terribly well. Yeah. At least my health and my physicality is as good as it's going to be. So,
and if you're wondering, I know, all of you are from Odin's Discord. My leg is doing well. It's been over a month already. It's healing up well. I'm just still trying to get movement back in the knee. I started physical therapy, so it'll only just get better from here. So everything's good.
That's good, yeah, because you hurt your knee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, trying to trying to wake up and engage still my brain a little bit.
Yeah, well, it was fun at the con yesterday. The Friday when we were setting up, I suddenly ended up with a table.
Oh, right.
They had a cancellation, and I was offered, hey, would you like a table? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I had obviously less than a day to think of what to bring, how to set it up, and all that stuff. It was just all thrown together. I just brought a bunch of my junk from home. I did bring the Gundam that was already there,
right,
set up. So yeah, it actually turned out really well.
Yeah,
I got
it
a pretty
did.
good reception, and I talked well to people apparently.
Yes.
I engaged okay. I don't know.
No, you engaged really well.
Yeah.
I was really grateful that Dan showed up. And because you brought the Gundam, I knew the con was small, and I knew that I needed to have a smaller footprint at the con because needing to be to a concert at 8 o'clock, and the con was supposed to end at 6. And this being the final, right, I was worried about. So I didn't take Mechagodzilla. I didn't take Soul Edge. I didn't take, a couple of other things I usually do. Thank you, Bean. But, which helps. Not taking Mechagodzilla to a con reduces a lot of bulk, because he's in my single biggest crate. It's like the biggest pop-top rolling crate that Home Depot sells. That's what the majority of that suit fits in. Plus 2 wonderfully classy, oversized trash bags that I shove the torso and the mecha diaper into. And so all these things have to get stacked on top. And then, of course, Soul Edge is so big, there's nothing for it to fit in. It just gets wrapped up in a moving blanket, which, again, isn't really difficult to move, isn't really difficult to do. It just takes a couple of minutes, but it having the loose stuff in the trash bags and having that, which doesn't weigh that much in a moving blanket, on top of everything else on my Beverly Hillbillies truck, that you have to be even more extra careful about how you wrap things up so you don't lose anything on the freeway. Mm-hmm. And so by not having that, everything was more secure, and it just made it a lot faster to get the heck out of there.
Yeah, less things to bring, less time with setting up and putting them away.
Right.
'Cause I feel, the Death Scythe is like pretty much all I bring to the cons, and I even like like it's the only thing you think I'm used to it. I kind of like dread it a little bit. Like, okay, I gotta pack this whole thing in the van, take it out, set it up, then the tear down, and then packing it back in. I mean, I just have to force myself to do it.
Yeah, sometimes you do. And he has 2 folding wagons, right? The like accordion shot with the cloth thing. He's got 2 of those, and that's what the Death Scythe fits into to be hauled around in.
Yeah, it actually fits in there quite well, and I can just lift. It doesn't weigh too much. I can just lift both of them, throw them back in the van side by side, and it's perfect.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. The first time I did it, I unloaded them from the wagons, and then I folded the wagons, threw them in there. Then I just thought I could just fit them all in there.
Right.
So that saves a lot of time.
Yeah, I always feel sometimes like I'm showing off because I've got 2 other people in the parking lot who don't know, right? So at my Matt truck, I've got the smaller, but they're still large black crates with a yellow lid. And of course, it's just full of all my foam props. So I'll reach down and grab 2 or 3 as a stack and just pick them up and put them in the truck or take them off the truck and set them down. And it's like, I'm not trying to show off. They just weigh 10 pounds each.
Yeah, it's all foam props.
Yeah.
It's like foam rocks.
Alrighty. What's that?
It's like foam rocks.
It's like foam rocks? Yeah, it's like foam rocks. There's a cryptid hiding in the shop again today. It's like foam rocks for, like the Gorn picking up the giant paper mache rock, and yeah. Oh, that was great. So helped out with a school play, right? You get called up because needing help with making a rock for retelling of Greek stories, and which was the one where the sword was hiding underneath a rock, and you had to flip it to go kill the lion. Was that Hercules? Or was that Thistles? One of those. I can't remember which. But anyway, so they need this rock, right? It doesn't have to be super huge, just needs to be big enough that obviously the kid couldn't normally pick it up, and so he could be the hero and flip the rock and be able to get the sword. So I managed to find a dead couch on the side of the road, and I gut it and get all the seat cushions and build up this big lumpy thing and spray it down with flex stone. So okay, it looks enough like a rock, it'll be fine for this children's play. And we set it all up, and the first dress rehearsal, the kid walks over to it and goes, "Oh, okay." Flip, picks up the rock. And the director's like, no, it has to look heavy. You got to act like it's heavy. Anyway, yeah, flip, fake rocks. Oh, we're ignoring everything going on over here. We've got Steve D saying good evening. We've got hello from Cheese.
Hello, Cheese.
Yes, which I've already, shockingly he is here. Dan Does Junk is chiming in from the set, and Shock Roman's chiming in from the background. Right, Ralph, sorry it was so loud, so I turned it down. We were having the weird crackling issues the other day with input 1 on my switcher, so I moved the mic to input 2, and I keep forgetting that I don't have that auto set. Sounds like you need the Odin sleep. Yes, I do. Cheese. So, what is my big plan for the day after the stream? Go the F home, sit on the couch, and be sedentary. May not even make it that far.
Do you have a shirt that says "Do not bother"?
Right. Can't be bothered.
Leave alone. Or just F off.
Yeah. Snowboard off. Strictly Games is here. Hey guys. Let's see.
Steve D is asking about your shirt.
Oh, he is asking about my shirt. Right. What's the t-shirt today? And you're wearing a new t-shirt today. Part of the thing with the con, since it was all May the 4th themed, was the organizer. She also does esports, right? So the con was a combination of an esports event, a scholastic esports event, with this like mini Comic Con thing happening. Although once we were in the convention area, it was way more of a like scholastic con. There wasn't classic vendors that I'm used to. There wasn't a lot of the toy vendors they just weren't there that I saw. Did you see any?
No.
Yeah, okay. There's podcast guys and really cool guy we got to talk to that does 3D printing and writes instruction books on Fusion 360 and Tinkercad. Mm-hmm. But anyway, because she does esports and manages esports teams, she got a hold of a company that made t-shirts, and she made these Stormtrooper-esque t-shirts Actually, it's just straight up Stormtrooper, isn't it? For all the volunteers. So all the people that she had running around the con that were staff member volunteers or managed to work out a deal with somebody else. So they got these students to be able to get work credits by working the con as a volunteer. So everyone got Stormtrooper uniforms. The one that she made for herself was printed in reverse. So it was a black shirt with white design on it. It's the exact same design, but it was obvious that, okay, you're the leader because you're wearing the black shirt, right? Because at first I thought, oh, cool, she got a Vader shirt. Then I look at it and go, no, that's a reverse, that's a Death Trooper shirt, you know, which is fine. It was still cool because it totally worked. I didn't wear it at the con because I didn't want to look like one of the volunteers, so I thought I'd wear it today.
Yeah, that would be smart.
But yeah, no, that's so that's actually probably my first ever Stormtrooper shirt. And it is incredibly thin. I've got a plain black shirt on underneath it, so you can't see what I'm wearing underneath it. Otherwise, you would. Yeah, even folded up in the bag, I could see not only through the top layer, but I could see the print of the folded layer underneath the top layer, right? It's a very thin material. But, yeah. So the big thing that happened with the cons yesterday, for all of us, they talked to me at length about doing a workshop. They wanted me to do some sort of a hands-on thing. They wanted some sort of crafty thing that could happen, and we talked back and forth. And you heard a lot about this last week about maybe making a foam sword, about maybe making something else. But it comes down to, I didn't even really appreciate what she was envisioning entirely as far as the clientele of the con. I'm used to a Comic Con, right? I'm used to SAC Anime and things like that. So there's a particular age group I'm thinking of. She had a better grasp of, no, this is going to be pretty all ages, and so it needed to be pretty much an all ages type of an activity. So razor knives, hobby knives, contact cement, stinky glues, paint. This isn't stuff that we want to have in the City Hall of Rancho Cordova, because that was where it was at, in some of the community rooms in the City Hall. So that's why it changed into the duct tape boffer lightsaber, because, all right, now we've got something that's clean enough-ish. It was still made a hell of a mess, but it wasn't liquids, and it was just dollar store scissors, so it wasn't anything anyone's going to cut themselves with, and they weren't going to mar the tables. So, I mean, they cut themselves with scissors if they tried, but man, there was one guy. He was a little guy, but he had the scissors, and he was trying to stab with them like as a knife. I was like, what the hell? Haven't you used scissors before? But the workshop was really fun. It was really a lot of fun to do, and thank you, Dan, for stepping in and being, a second set of hands running around instructing people, even though you ended up focusing on one person. I mean, you didn't, but that one guy needed a lot of help.
That was it was needed for me to be there, and even just with two of us, I felt like we could use a third.
Yeah, definitely could use a. We only had 11 participants, right? That she wanted me to have 10. We ended up having 11. So I had to skin my demo saber, not the one I made last week, but the one I was starting to do there, just so there was enough foam to go around, because, I'm being what was it? Reserved, or I'm being it's budget conscious with the amount of foam I'm using. There's a word for it. I'm failing on. Of course, nobody else in the workshop. There's like, cutting stuff up. Oh, I did that wrong. All right, we try again. It's like, all right, well, I need more foam next time. Go ahead.
But yeah, like what you said, that one that I was helping, I pretty much made that one for him. Which was fine. I was like peering over, and I saw that he was struggling. He made a green boffer lightsaber, and he wanted it just like the one Odin made. So I guess that was like easy because it's already a pre-established design.
Right.
So I could just look at it and do it, and yeah, I mean, I had fun helping them out. I helped out a few of them, mainly with wrapping the blade with the colored duct tape. It actually takes some doing.
Right?
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. And I noticed that I wasn't explaining well enough because I'm feeling rushed. I'm doing public speaking, which still makes me feel rushed and running through things. So explaining the wrap, people started just going and doing, which is okay. You know, oh, I can do this. Okay, well, you probably can, but yeah, the wrapping was interesting. The way everyone approached it.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I forget if some of them ran out of the tape.
Yeah, some did. I don't know if anyone ran out, but I know they used them all up.
Use them all up, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so this here's the guy that Dan helped, and this is Dan's saber. I'm sorry, this is little guy's saber next to mine, which is like the only one that I actually got a good picture of.
Yeah, he wanted it just like yours, so
Yeah.
I just managed to do that for him.
Which is cool. And then now it's time when I get some sort of weird text, right? Yeah, this was basically the
workshop.
The workshop. There's a little cricket there,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was a bunch of tables put together, people sitting all around it. It was really kind of fun to me in a way because everyone down at this end, to the far end of the table, down here by the Blick banner, and it's Blick Art Materials. Yeah, that's a family that they all decided, oh, we want to do this. So there's this group of like 5 or 6 people that were all part of the same household that they all made sabers to go home and have battles with. And shortly after this, or are they even in here? No, they're not quite here. Shortly after I took this picture, the 501st came through. So there was an Imperial officer and a Vader and a trooper, which was really kind of cool.
Yeah, they were really cool.
Yeah. So they were taking pictures of everybody with the sabers, and the officer kept looking at everyone. I see you chose the color of the Jedi. Are you sure this is what you're after? This isn't in line with Imperial mandates and what we want. And, it's they're collectors. It's okay. They're appreciating the older artifacts. So I need to sleep. I have the junk man. Oh, whoever's down here. Oh, Jerry Can Cosplay came in. Sweet. Hello, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
Ralph is Dan, the Gundam wingman. So, yeah, absolutely. I think that if I was running a workshop like this again, if I could have like another Dan or two to help out with, even with just 10 people, I had 90 minutes to do this workshop, right? We had 90 minutes to run around and help everyone make lightsabers, and we used it all up. There were people that finished beforehand, but
Yeah.
some of the like teenage people really got it done and just started having saber battles. And they were also some of the ones that used their entire allotment of duct tape,
Yeah.
which is fine. I mean, I don't care. I had the tape to be used, right? I'm not trying to ration the tape.
You estimated correctly.
I
Tape.
tried. Right, estimated. So, Blick Art Materials was generous enough to donate all the color duct tape. That doesn't sound like much, but these color duct tapes range from $5 a roll to $8 a roll. And we went through 13 or 14 rolls of duct tape for the workshop, right? So that's actually a significant chunk of change to just come out of pocket for doing something that's free to the public. That's why we got the banner put up. And actually, I'm going to return the banner back to them as soon as the stream's over. So Shock Roman and I came down, I think, on Thursday, or maybe it was Wednesday, and because we talked about it. My concern after doing the live stream was that it was going to take too long for a novice to wrap up the entirety of their blade to have someone else waiting for you. Come on, Bob, I want the red tape. So we sat here for better part of like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. It didn't quite take that long. And unrolled 6 rolls of duct tape onto little spools of PVC, putting approximately 6 yards onto each one. I took a tape dispenser, cranked it into the vise. So this is just like a regular packing tape dispenser because a duct tape roll fits in a packing tape dispenser. No, it's over here, isn't it? Here it is. But you end up with your roll of duct tape, I didn't do the black because that was just going to be an artsy one. But that fits onto your roll. And then we brought it out the way it normally does, but I had this, I had the vice grip the screws, that's what I'm trying to say, so I wouldn't like ruin the handle grip. And let the tape come out to just a small roll of PVC. This isn't quite the size, but it was one of these, so it was a little half inch. And then sat there, and I would pull it out. We'd measure it by a yardstick. Okay, that's a yard or a fat yard, and just roll it all up, and then roll it all up again. My fingers were hating me by the time I was done doing this. And the whole idea was to make micro rolls of duct tape that could be handed out to people. And I was able to get 3 of these pretty much per big roll of tape, right? So here's a used red one that somebody had. This is how much was left over from someone who was being very careful with how much she was using. So I can see that that's about 1.5 yards if I remember how much was being rolled up when I was doing it. And here's an untouched green one because green seemed to be the least favorite color for the blades that were while we were there. So this is 6 yards of tape. So I'd roll about 6 fat yards, so like 6.5 yards, 6 2/3 yards onto one of these rolls. So nobody was just waiting for a solid roll of tape. And then just watching some of them just use up the entire roll. I'm going to use it. This is mine. I'm going to use it.
And they're only halfway down.
Yeah, they're only right. and yeah, so it was fun. So I'm realizing I probably need a handout. I probably need maybe some other visual aid to go along with doing a workshop like this, talking about which I planned on doing because I thought we were going to be in a different chamber, in a different meeting conference room that was going to have AV support. We weren't going to have it because we're all just in the same big room. I could literally see my booth from the workshop booth. So I knew I wasn't going to have that, so I didn't bother. And having some sort of a here's step 1, here's step 2 flip chart thing that people can reference would probably help quite a bit. It would certainly help me. I'm a visual guy. Sorry.
But yeah, despite that, it did go well. Both of us were able to go around and explaining the different steps after they finished one step, and yeah, I was wondering how you managed to. How you did this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to think, how can I put a drill into this, right? So I can motorize it to roll it up. But no, literally, it was just, this is clamped in a vise, pull out some tape, hook the empty tube to it, and then just pulled it out. Shock Gremlin held out a yardstick, went, okay, yep, that's a yard. So I'd roll it up to the tape dispenser and then pull it out again. And after 2 or 3 of these, we just quit measuring it, and I was just eyeballing it because I was looking at paint spots on the floor. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, no, I think one of them that I was using to help, it was actually, I don't know, it's like it felt tighter around this pipe when I was unrolling it to wrap it.
Yeah.
So I was looking around the table. All I could find were. I wanted something to stick into here as well, so I can grip that and just pull.
Yeah.
And I ended up using some scissors. The blade end of the scissors kind of fit in here.
Oh, okay.
So I was just gripping that. I didn't do it a lot, but I was like, oh, that kind of works. Not very safe, but kind of works.
That works, right? Yeah. No blue. All the blue's gone. Oh wow, I didn't realize how much of that silver got used up. That's funny. Here's a roll of silver, and that's how much is left.
Oh, what's nice is this finished, so this piece is still usable.
Yeah, no, I noticed that when we ran out of the first red tape roll we were doing, or whichever one, that when it finally pulled free, the core is covered with a sticker backing, right? So the thing that you pull a sticker off of, and that's what the core. So yeah, unlike cheap silver duct tape, where that first layer of tape, well, that's what's holding it to the core, so you don't get to use that. No, you can use everything here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then brought along some electrical tape. So a lot of people ended up using electrical tape for their
the detail
work. Yeah, so that worked out really well. But no, that was It felt like a successful workshop. It felt like everyone had a lot of fun. Yeah. I had to politely turn people away because Donna told me to only do so many, because funding it, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, could have easily done 15 people, which was the original plan. And it was also neat that everyone was really grateful to hear that, by the way, this entire demo is now a video on my channel, so you can reference this. And it was like, oh, really? Good. So that that worked out really well, I think.
And I kind of felt bad when it was like towards the end of it, and there were other people coming. They had no idea we were doing this.
Right.
And I had to tell them, no, this was something that you had to sign up for. Yeah.
Right. So I'm accustomed to going to a show and being in my space, and this is what I do. Mm-hmm. And I'm accustomed to the show promoting the things going on. That's not where Donna's head was. Her head was, Donna's the organizer. Her head was totally into what the esports stuff was going to be, what some of the different activities were going to be, how the cosplay contest was going to when it was going to take place, not so much how it was going to happen, and a bunch of other things. So the 3 workshops that happened was pretty much left up to the people running the workshop to promote it within the con itself, which I didn't appreciate at all. I mean, I don't appreciate as in, that's a poor choice of words. I didn't understand or think about at all that form of appreciation, right? So, this workshop's going to happen, but the only people who knew were the people that walked up to my table and talked to me to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I could have done better, I guess, but something else to keep in mind, I'm going to need a placard somewhere. There needs to be there was a run of events, I suppose, in because there was like a run of show, like a timeline that was kind of up front. But still, you had to look at that specific thing. There was nothing really, hey, workshops are happening type of which I've seen a lot of cons. There's like big posters put up, things put on doors. Mm-hmm. And it's like, these workshops are happening all day.
At this time, here's some info to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Next time.
Yeah, next time, exactly. Apparently, the city of Rancho Cordova, as well as Donna and a lot of the people involved, had a great time. It was actually a successful... It was a microcon, mm-hmm. but it was a scholastic event, right? So it wasn't trying to be a Comic-Con, so it was very successful for what it was and for what the intent was. So, pretty sure they're going to be doing it again next year.
Oh, nice.
I don't think they're going to do it on the 4th again, but because they probably won't, because the 4th is going to move around, right? So it's not going to be a Saturday again. But I don't know, might be leap year and all.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
It is noon, our time.
Noon. Yes. Stick this in the live streams. I'll leave it at that because we probably won't get anywhere near Ghostbusters.
Unless you want to.
Unless we want to. I might bring it down. I'm not against bringing the wires down and giving that a shot, because that seems like something you probably should try and do.
Yeah.
Ralph Morick, any Odin content? It's good content. Thank you, Ralph and Steve D. Steve D, it felt really strange, but really good to see an Odin video appear on my YouTube list.
Been a while, huh?
Right. So I'm talking about... so context for Ralph's comment. I'm talking about taking duct tape onto a tape gun, putting it into a vise so I can pull things out and wrap it all up, right? So I'm explaining that. And what Ralph says is, reminds me of making DIY strippers I once made for us to strip copper. Of course, I'll read that as, DIY strippers. Some of the best strippers on the internet. But no, yeah, totally. Ralph, I've had another friend here locally because I used to work with a contract group that installed DirecTV. So there was all sorts of leftover wire, and there were a lot of older pieces of equipment that DirecTV didn't want back. They only wanted back the last generation, the last models, because they would recycle parts out of those. But anything older than that, we were instructed to just junk it. So one of the guys was a scrapper and would take all this stuff home, and he would strip the insulation off of all the wires, off the leftover grounding wire, off the old coaxial wire, getting that little tiny copper that's down the center of the coaxial wire, and he would just all day, strip this stuff and wad it up and just let it collect. And his backyard was horrible looking, but it was a very organized mess, and it was like the Watto's junkyard, but worse. And but with these older electronic components, same thing. He would sit out there, or maybe with some friends that come over, and he would pay them, right? And some of these guys loved it because they could drink and smoke whatever they wanted while they're effectively working, and tearing apart these electronic components. And they would flatten the chassis, and so you'd make a pile of steel, and you would take certain components off and stack them up somewhere else into a garbage can. And Mark would just watch the market price of recycling these metals. And when it hit a certain threshold, and when he knew he had enough to fill his trailer in the bed of his truck, he would overload that sucker and then hump it down to the recycling station and get money. But it was a very long process, and it was just this. The fact that he would watch the market made the most sense to me, right?
Yeah.
And the effort of stripping everything, for those of you who don't know, for recycling the metals is worth it. Because if you're going to scrap a bunch of copper wire, there's two different values that, at least around here, that they're going to pay you. There's dirty wire, which is, okay, this is copper wire, but it has insulation on it, it has paint on it, it has whatever impurities on it. We're going to pay you, a tenth of what the clean copper is worth, because, well, this is clean copper. We don't have to do anything to it. This is just copper. So it was worth it to Mark to pull all this stuff off. Hellfire Zombie, Odin in the house. Hello, Hellfire Zombie,
Hello.
and welcome Dan Does Junk.
Hello.
Danny Wynn, missed you, Odin. Hello, Danny. So we have gone public. I know I was mid-story there, and I'm just rambling away. But it is the Sunday live stream, and hello, I'm Odin.
And I'm Dan.
And welcome, I guess, to the Sunday live stream, because I can't even remember my own, lines anymore.
We're tired.
We're tired.
Yeah.
For those of you just joining, I apologize. You'll probably want to jump back and see what all the Patreon's members have got to see, because the first 40 minutes of this stream was exclusive for members of my Patreon and Discord, where I was recapping what I've been doing for the past couple of days and why I'm completely tired, exhausted, and brain dead. And I've got all the tape out because yesterday finally did the duct tape lightsaber workshop live at a local event that I was practicing 2 weeks ago in the last stream. Mm-hmm. So this is what's left over. These we went from full rolls of tape, which the black tape is pretty much a full roll still, right here on the tape gun. This is this is after 11 sabers. This is what's left. And I think it's funny that these three are from just sitting in the bag are kind of just stuck together. Yeah.
This one's my favorite right here. There's a little sliver that's left.
Right. That's it.
This is all the cardboard tube right here.
But and the other big thing that I talked about, I'll just recap it quick. I'll flip back and forth a lot. So we had these rolls of tape, and I had a huge concern over somebody having a full roll of red and wanting to wrap up their saber and it just taking too long. We were running out of time in the workshop. So I took little rolls of PVC pipe and set up a little thing to where I could unroll about 6 yards of tape onto a spool of PVC, which gave me 3 small rolls instead of just having one big roll. So 3 people could be rolling at the same time. And it actually worked out that everyone got a color and everyone got to wrap their blade at the same time, which is 100% the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. And then the con gave me a great Stormtrooper shirt. It's my first Stormtrooper shirt. Staff Stormtrooper. Which I didn't wear at the con because I didn't want to look like the volunteers that are running around. So I'm wearing it today. Now, there were 3 different workshops that were happening. I had mine that was the lightsaber workshop that we talked about at length. And even Felicia was the one who specifically suggested to do the boffer lightsaber instead of the sword I was thinking about because it would just be an easier, more accessible art thing to do. There were other people that were going to be doing other workshops who then kind of disappeared. You know how this happens. You're planning this thing with a bunch of friends, and like a couple of them just sort of stop talking. And it's not like they're upset with you. It's just they kind of...
They just fade.
Yeah.
Fade away.
And so Donna was the person running the convention. So Donna's like, you think Felicia can run a workshop? I went, yeah, probably. Actually, it wasn't even that. She didn't know Felicia at the time. I was like, did I know anyone who could run some sort of a costuming workshop? It's like, yeah, I know someone. Let me ask her first. and was Felicia excited about being able to do that. So what she did was making Jedi robes out of canvas drop cloths. So we went to a discount tool store. It's here in the States called Harbor Freight Tools, which is actually nationwide, which is nice. And she bought a bunch of the 4 foot wide, so a little more than a meter, by 12 foot long, so almost 4 meters. These runner drop cloths, and then cut them in half, and you can drape them over a person, and they started being able to make these Jedi robes. So she was specifically showing how to cut the T form and how to cut it to fit your body, and they put it together with hot glue guns. So no sewing, right? So again, an approachable method that most people can do that doesn't require 10 sewing machines. It doesn't require blood loss.
Yeah. The only issue with hot glue guns, obviously, the heat.
Well, no, it should do a lot. Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, they turned out really great.
They did.
You can show this.
Oh, you got one pulled up? Oh, great. Oh, yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Good for
That's
you.
the one she had made, right?
Yeah, this is her display that she did. So here is Princess Felicia showing off one of her drop cloth Obi-Wan Jedi robes, this is the one that she made during her presentation. So this she did live in front of everyone, and it is just cut out and hot glued together.
It looks great.
Yeah, it looked really good. These were a little bit of dye if you wanted to give them some different colors, but these are fully, if you needed a bunch of extras to be Jedi, if you needed stuntmen to be Jedi, yeah, this is it. And what's cool is the canvas texture.
Yeah.
Because this is a big thing for me for costumes, and especially screen use stuff. The texture really adds to it. It's because it's a natural undyed cotton, and then it's a heavy woven. So it has that body that you want to have for a robe without it looking like, broadcloth, without it looking like a plastic bag Halloween costume. No offense to plastic bag Halloween costumes, but
I was also thinking, like, if you really liked it, the hot glue is holding it together. Maybe you can. Okay, it's already together. What if I actually just sew it together right now? I mean, you would probably have to turn it inside out carefully. I'm not sure how well they were stuck together. And I didn't get my hands on it. So,
right.
But yeah, I was thinking you can probably sew it together after that if you really like what you made.
I know that it depends on how well they smashed it together.
Yeah.
I know that rubbing alcohol will help break the bond of hot glue off of stuff. So if you were to get hot glue onto your table or onto your floor, something where you don't want drops of hot glue, just a little bit of isopropyl rubbing alcohol, you just drop it around the edge because it's not going to soak in, right? It's melted plastic. But if you drop it around the edge, in 10 seconds, it'll just pop right off. Or if it's a bigger piece, it'll start to peel up, and you put a little more alcohol and it'll just start peeling up. It's amazing. And I know Felicia has gotten hot glue out of the chairs at SAC Anime, and off of other pieces of fabric that she did where she didn't want it. And I think that was still with isopropyl alcohol. Could have been with silicone spray, but I think I'm confusing that with something else.
Silicone spray.
She used silicone spray for the alfalfa.
Yeah,
Okay.
she wanted to try it out, and she succeeded.
Yeah, so it's probably possible to do that. So it's a weird idea to. I wouldn't say use hot glue as a basting stitch for your sewing projects, but it's a weird idea that might work.
But yeah, for what she was doing with her workshop, it was a really great method.
Yeah.
To just assemble the garment.
Right, and show everyone. And she made these great bags, right? So she was prepared. I kind of was. She was prepared. She had a stand with a hanger, with clips, with 10-gallon-sized reclosable baggies that had scissors and measuring tape and a marking pen in each one. And the bags were numbered so she could check them out and get them back, right? I ended up borrowing them just for the scissors because it was easier for cutting the tape. And then Dan and I had to run around the table and put the bags back together. But, yeah, so she was prepared with all of that. And her workshop, which to me sounds more involved. I mean, it may not be. It's just the time in wrapping duct tape around something. She only had an hour and nailed it. Right? There were people that still had a little bit of detail stuff that they needed to finish, but everyone pretty much had a Jedi robe in an hour doing this hot glue method with Felicia, starting with a drop cloth. So, highly recommend, Felicia, if you're watching, to run a video out of that.
Well, it helps because she has a coaching experience as well.
Yes.
Which
yes,
turns into teaching and instructional
right.
experience. So.
Yeah, all my instructional experience is right here in this room. So, yeah.
I'll make a video to show you how to make something.
Right, yeah. That's why I do it. Going back to scrapping metal, Ralph Morick says he thinks he now has over 150 kilograms of copper saved up. That'll be a good payout soon because copper is currently at €7.5 I assume, per kilogram. For those of us, I love saying this in my last video. So for those of us who are still living in the caves, a kilogram is almost 2 pounds. So that's, 300 pounds worth of copper, which to me sounds like a lot. So that's pretty cool. Schultz Division says, late, but here.
Hey, Schultz.
Louis Causey is here. Hello, Louis. Thank you for the stickers. Right? No, yeah, he sent a care package of Ghostbusters stuff.
Yeah.
Which had some really cool patterns, and did it have stickers in it? I want to say it had stickers in it. I can't remember if it did. He didn't send the Moby stickers, but anyway, maybe he did. I'm sorry if I'm not giving him. But he had the really cool printouts with there was a fellow, because I don't speak Spanish, so Louis turned me on to somebody who did some really good tutorials for Ecto goggles and the belt gizmo from a Spanish-speaking tutorial. So that's really cool. Not something I would have looked up, because... Stephen Hall is here. Hello, Stephen. I'm doing well. How are you? Adventures of Alex Stoner. Hey, you said you had a birthday recently, right? On one of the channels. Meryl Turnip. The force is strong with Felicia. Yes, yes, it is. She wore herself out. I mean, she had a rough week anyway, right? Which, if she wants to talk about, she can. I'm not going to. But she had a rough week anyway, and so as a trooper, she still went out. Still went out, and that was not intentional, and did this workshop and freaking nailed it. And yeah, I don't blame her at all for, I can't make the stream today, Odin. It's like, not a problem. Dapper Wabbit is here saying, Odin making a comeback. Do I still have the Blades of Chaos? Yeah, actually I think I do. I believe they're buried. Not the right word. I've got a little room in the back that we made to be more climate controlled that I call the 3D printing room. And I think they're buried back there.
Yeah, I see them.
You see them?
Yeah.
The fun thing with the Blades of Chaos, I believe I used Flex Seal to cover them, right? If I remember right from the video. So, because I use a combination of Plastic and Flex Seal, I think. Anyway, the Flex Seal, I believe, continued to shrink over time, and started pulling out of the cracks of the teeth, and so the material has like tinted over some of the indents. So you look at it and it's kind of like, well, that's weird. Why is it doing that? So yeah, Flex Seal, and this was almost exclusively to the foam clay as well, which makes sense because that stuff is really smooth. So I've got some on the vinyl covering over the really smooth foam clay. And Adventures of Alex Stoner says, "Hey Dan, how you doing?"
I'm doing pretty well. Just going day by day. Tired.
Yeah.
My leg's doing well. Yeah, everything's fine. I am in process of. I mentioned this in chat in your last live stream.
Cool.
And on the Discord, you guys know I've been working on a Odin scale Lego helmet, the motorcycle helmet. Now, I don't normally prototype a damn thing because I just want to make it once and that's it. I have made. I'm on number 6.
Number 6
on these helmets.
Wow.
Yeah. I gifted him number 3.
It's actually not here, unfortunately. I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, that's fine. But the only reason I am fine, well, there's 2 reasons why I'm fine with making multiple. I'm trying to get my pattern down right because I think I do have it down, and I'm ready to shoot video for it. So look forward for that on my channel.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is Dan Does Junk right here on YouTube. Yep. The 2 reasons why I don't mind prototyping this piece is 1, it's a giant Lego. The more you have, the better. Even though it's the same piece, you got more pieces. And 2, it was extremely easier than I thought it would be.
I agree.
I overthought because both of us were looking at the shape of it. It's the shape of just a normal motorcycle helmet.
Yeah, it's the modern Lego motorcycle helmet piece.
It's not like the classic space where it's just a straight up
cylinder with a dome on top. Yeah.
Which is a lot simpler. That'll probably be, what, a 5-minute video for you?
I'll probably stretch that out.
But, yeah, so, I mean, a little bit of spoilers in terms of what it ended up becoming in terms of the pieces I had to make, but pretty much half a dome for the top part, and then the bottom, truncated cone. And that's it. That was it.
Yeah.
Right when I got those pieces, I was like, huh. I'm there already.
Right. And then like a secondary piece, because when you look at the Lego parts, the chin is reinforced. So the problem that Benny has from the Lego movie doesn't happen to the motorcycle helmets anymore. So, another extra piece added there. And they're looking great. I kept looking at it, thinking of it as the solid piece like it is, even though Lego doesn't do it this way, where the whole dome was going to need to be sanded out of a piece of kneeling pad foam. And
that was my first thought, is I would have to make something just solid that was the helmet, maybe a little smaller, because I was going to pull a pattern off of that. But yeah, it ended up being a lot easier. You can go ahead and show them this. This is
okay, cool.
This is the first prototype.
This was the first prototype, right? This is what I think you sent me a picture of.
Yeah.
We gotta find where the camera is.
Right
there it is.
So that's the very first prototype. Now, because of that, it's not 100% how I want it, but it got me to learn how to make this shape
right
overall. And yeah, and I am. I think helmet number 6 is the one that is being made for the video. So footage has been shot. It's just on my phone at the moment.
Okay.
I'm just compiling footage here or there, and I'll just throw it into a video.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, that's cool. And yeah, I can totally see
I have prototype 2 right there. I did it with black foam. You can't really see it, so I'll just put it to 1. You can see that one better.
No, that's really, really cool. And I like the fact that on the inside, because I was saying, I kept thinking I had to do this whole upper dome is carved out of a solid piece, because inside has to be a hole for the stud that's on top of the Lego man's head to be able to fit.
Yeah.
But you just cut a ring of foam. Effectively.
So what helps with that is if you have a Lego head or something equivalent that has the bump on it, because I could just take that and then wrap foam around it to get the size and then cap it and then just stick that underneath the dome. Actually, having the head does help because it will help you position that piece into the dome.
That makes sense.
But what I did is because the pattern it's just 8 pieces. You can look inside and see where those points meet up, and that's your center.
Right.
And you could just go in there and line it up, eyeball it. But you have to trust your eyes and your ability to do that.
Right. But yeah, this is the bump on top. So Vader isn't going to get one of those types of helmets, and so I'm slowly working on a Vader figure. He's not anywhere near being done, but I wanted to put him together to take him yesterday. But yeah, no, I get to cut off Vader's head. Now you know how Jango Fett felt.
Sweet. And also, yeah, it does also help having the head because you want to see how the helmet fits. When you look at an actual figure with the head with the helmet, it hugs the head like almost perfectly.
Mm-hmm. No, it really does, and that was something
so,
that was also tripping me up as far as.
Now on mine, the chin piece does stick out a bit. Maybe these parts have a little space, but as long as it looks right on the head, you'll be just fine with it.
I noticed when scaling some of the Lego things up that they end up being, points 18 millimeters thick. And that's not an impossible thing to do with foam. And my mind is still like, okay, that's supposed to be 18. Here we go. Dan's right. As long as the outside shell is right, it really doesn't matter if it's hollow.
Mm-hmm. And on those parts around, like where the face is, that's just added foam on the inside to make it not just to fill it in, but to thicken those areas.
To make it appear, yeah, that makes sense.
I'll explain it in a lot more in my videos, in my voiceover. So,
budget conscious foam building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vader's pissed he doesn't have a helmet still. This is a project I still need to finish. Mm-hmm. I have interest in finishing. Dan's working on a Boba Fett, same scale. Mm-hmm. But coming up, the next project that I'm doing for someone else that's not for me, Chuck Rowan and I are making a giant Emmy again. So we made one last year, and stand over here. Be good. Okay, be yourself. It'll take me a second to find it, but wanting to upgrade it from what we did last year. Last year we used a CNC machine up at Folsom Lake College in order to cut out layers of insulation foam that we then stacked in order to get the shape of the Emmy. And a big reason we did that and needed to do that was because we didn't have the time to 3D print one, which realistically is the right way to do, a statue that on her own is almost 5.5 feet tall, right? It should, from the top of her hands, because she's holding up this science ball, down to her little feet, and the tips of her angel wings. She is somewhere in the 5 foot area with all that. So we've been spending the time with a large format 3D printer to 3D print the pieces, 30 some odd pieces, in order to build her in the full size. I'm trying to find a picture from last year, so I gotta get June from last year. I'm still in February. There we are. No, that's January. Okay, let's use the thing over here, Odin. Sorry, can't do two things at once, especially when you're like really freaking tired.
Joseph isn't. I want a Boba Fett one, Dan. Wink, wink, wink.
Wink.
3 winks. Oh, jeez.
3 winks. Oh, super. I guess this is actually more of a. So I know we talked about this before, but here's the. Trying to find camera. There we are.
There we go.
Here's the finished. She ends up being 8 feet tall from where she sits on the carpet to the top of her science ball is 8 feet. And we're going to be able to reuse the base that we made for last year because this is just fine. And so we've been in the process of 3D printing the entire angel all over again using a Mingda Magician Pro 3D printer, which has a 400 millimeter cubed print area, so which is about 16 inches cubed. So able to make some pretty big pieces, but still being kind of reserved with those parts because how often we run into we're down to the last 95% and the piece fails, and it's gonna be 5 days to have this one piece print all over again. So we got this all printed up. If it all worked correctly the first time, if every piece came out correctly the first time, it would have taken a total of 54 days to print all the pieces. That's not what happened because there were so many failures. Redid the hands, had to redo one of the middle sections because the Mingda broke, and we ended up doing it on the smallest Prusa printer, so it had to be broken into 3 parts. When the Mingda came back to life because a new one was bought, that one middle piece got printed again, and it failed, and it got printed again. So, it ends up being, 70 days worth of printing in order to get all these pieces. And now finally, this event is going to happen again in mid-June, right? So we got a tiny amount of time still to get this thing finished. But so coming up in the evenings this upcoming week, we're going to start using 3D Gloop and start to glue together the PLA. She's all printed in silk gold, right? I'll go and find one of those pictures, which is going to be more recent. She's kind of faceted too because the model that we have was made for broadcast. It wasn't made for 3D printing. But she's all printed up in silk gold PLA. And there's enough parts now that we can't stack her together. She's completely hollow. If you look in this section over here, imagine she's wearing a tank top. This is the armhole, and it is literally about the size of a tank top armhole. What that really is where, in the graphics program, Shock Grumman chopped her arms off and chopped her wings off to print them all separately. So everything needs to be put back together again. We're going to build this shell. It's printed at 4 millimeters thick, completely hollow on the inside. We're going to debone last year's foam angel and get the rebar steel core that we had made so she could hold the science ball and in general not break it. Her tiny little ankles that are actually smaller, I think, than my wrist. So we have to put the steel back into it, and we're going to fill the whole thing up with some expanding foam, so she's got some bulk again. And that's going to be a piece-by-piece process because we can't take the steel apart, right? So we can build her up to about the bottom of her rib cage and slip the post that goes in because it's kind of like a scarecrow. But then we have to build the rest of the body around the arm steel that comes out the hole and slip the arms over it. And then the head is actually a separate piece from the rest of the body. So this will be the last part to go on. And there'll be layers of foam that has to be poured in. So it's going to be interesting doing this. Getting it all put
process.
together. Yeah. And then gonna try and redo the science ball because last year's science ball worked, but it could be improved.
Now, the first one that you and Sharp Goodman made, was that able to be disassembled?
Yeah.
The statue?
Yeah, it was able to be disassembled.
Is this one going to have that? Because you plan on...
We plan on reusing... So it was built to be disassembled into 3 crates.
Okay.
And that's also partly why she has a metal skeleton. And so we're going to be doing exactly the same thing. The science ball is, lack of a better term, it's 3 circles that are arranged to be the 3 neutron orbits of an atom, right? And they even have cat toys stuck on it to be those atoms, or not atoms, be those electrons.
Yeah.
And from her hands, from the statue's hands, there's a little quarter 20 screw post that pokes out of both sides. Okay. And so there's a hole drilled in the science ball because she has enough flex with her arms, and well, she should still, even with the PLA. God, I hope. And the science ball had enough give that we were able to slip it over one side and then pop in the other one, and then put a couple of wing nuts. So now the science ball is screwed into her hands and it can't fall. So the science ball is separate, and then she just pegs into the base, right? So she breaks into three big crates.
Base, statue, and ball?
Yeah, base, statue, and ball. That's all it is.
Okay.
And yeah, it's wing nuts, the 2 wing nuts, because she's just gravity. There's a flag that the guy that we helped build it, Cameron, he's the shop foreman at Folsom Lake College. He put his metal flag on the post, and then we cut a slit in the top of the iron pipe that's inside of the base. So she sets in, and then you rotate her and keys in place, and shunk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Nice.
so she's lined up right with the print that's around the base.
What if she rotated on the base?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Too much work.
Yeah, kind of. Could be fun though.
Yeah.
What's interesting is the Emmy people were actually emailed me this week saying, "Hey, if you still have the foam one from last year, can we use that as a stage prop?" So I wrote back and said, "Well, we were planning on," and laid it all out with what I just talked to you about. It's like,
Yeah.
so we can, but now we need to hire somebody to help us weld it again, and money.
Since you're salvaging the things off of that one
Yeah,
to use for the new one, yeah.
right. So here's there's a picture of the finished one in the receiving area here at the Sacramento Media Center, like the day before she was going to get shipped out, and then got broken into. Here's the larger than 4 foot across crate we built that the base can fit into, being loaded into a borrowed truck. This truck is bigger than mine. Yeah, there's the base sitting inside of it. Hopefully I'm in the focus area. Looks like I am. Which, and then she lays... Thanks. She lays down in the in the crate. So there's a couple of angles screwed to the top here. So her hands peg into these angle iron, just like she's holding this science ball. Because, she's got a internal metal frame. And in the far end, where you can't see in this picture, there's the post that just slips into a hole drilled into a piece of wood. So she's literally mounted in the crate the way she's mounted to
To the
base and everything else. So she's
Makes
suspended within her crate. She's not laying on anything. And you can't quite see it, but the wings are actually detachable. And so those are laying down on a piece of foam underneath in order to ship them. And there's the overloaded truck with you got the base crate, you got the science ball crate, which that's a 30-inch cube crate, and then her coffin crate on top. And this is how we drove it from Sacramento to San Francisco. We'll be doing that again on June 12th, I think.
Okay.
Or driving down then, or it could be 13th. It's that weekend, 14th, whichever that Saturday is. That's when the Emmys are happening again. That's when she needs to be done.
Hopefully it's not too warm because it's PLA and,
Correct.
Yeah.
that is a concern. It's PLA, so hopefully it's not too warm. She'll only be traveling for a little bit, so it should be okay.
Yeah, and it's an indoor prop.
It's an indoor prop, and it's an indoor event. And she's going to have the expanding foam on the inside, right, that'll expand and hold the PLA in place. Mm-hmm. So there isn't going to be any, I want to say gross, but that could say it wrong, large-scale deformations. So gross deformations, where, the whole side of her dress caves in or something. That isn't going to happen because she's going to have the foam inside. But that 4mm wall isn't solid. It has an infill. So dimples can happen.
Oh.
Because there's that pop. It's got a decent infill. I think she's got like a 15 or 20% infill. So it's a fairly high infill in 3D printing terms. But still, there is air in her walls. And so
there's still a risk of something.
Especially if she is warm and gets grabbed.
Dimples.
Yeah.
And dimples in there.
So, hope not. Found out since then there is a filament called ASA. ASA is a type of printing filament that if ABS and PETG manage to combine into some other, that's pretty much what ASA is. ASA has a very high melting temperature, and to the point that it sounds like it would survive being left in the car, that high. It's pretty much designed for outdoor use. It is UV resistant, so it doesn't break down in sunlight as quickly as, say, PLA does, which is corn based, so it breaks down in sunlight. At this point in time, Shop Gremlin is just using up all the old stock that they've got, all the old PTEG, all the PLA, because I believe at this point it's like, yep, it's worth the small extra bucks to buy a roll of ASA. I'm just going to print in that because it will do what it needs to do and it will live. And unlike other builders that I know that will print something on a PLA because they're just going to finish it up and mold it and cast it and then huck the print. The print is the finished piece that Shock Gremlin's going to want. So printing it out of a better material is the right idea. All right, I'm way behind on things here. Making a comeback. Hello from Brazil. Hello, Gene. With an awesome last name I can't say. Comunicados, something like that, but that's not it at all.
Got me.
Okay. Yep.
Let's go with yours.
Love for Felicia in the chat for Schultz Division. Doesn't look like she's here. I think she's just wiped out. She's probably just... Oh, interesting. Shock Gremlin's pointing out. So silicone spray does remove the hot glue, but you can never reapply hot glue to it, ever, because it's got a silicone release on it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's coated already, so...
With the alcohol, it'll evaporate and you can wipe it off and you're good to go, more or less. Shock Gremlin says that Felicia still had one kit left after her Jedi robe workshop, so she could possibly make a video out of it. XSV 75150 Gaming. Great meeting you yesterday, Odin. Super nice guy person on stream. Thank you. Hello, XSV. And here's Dan again. Hey, how's it going? Schultz Division says the thickness of the helmet you got going looks great.
Oh, thank you.
Steve D is asking what I did to my finger because I've got a Band-Aid. I split my fingernail, so how it cracks and then runs that way. Yeah, so it's not very deep, thankfully. It's just a little bit, but it was just enough that it was bleeding, and I don't want to be. It was uglier than a dirty Band-Aid. The finished one is on point. Well done, Dan, for the helmet.
Oh, thank you. It's coming together nice. I think I do have the pattern down for the most part. There's still some work that you might have to do if you decide to build it yourself, but I'm trying to minimize that.
Cool.
Because for the most part, there will be seams and stuff, so I'm just throwing flexible spackle at it and sanding it.
Yeah.
And I'm actually coating the whole helmet with it, with a thin wet coat.
Okay.
Because the finish on it just turns out so much better.
Yeah.
With all the foam pores filled in.
It does.
So, yeah.
Yeah. You reminded me that one of the things I'd done in the past was to use fresh, really thin contact cement and do a coat before putting plastic dip on it. And I noticed with doing Luffy and Voltron that doing that only required 2 coats of white to get a really good, smooth white finish on a foam piece, which white usually is 4 coats to cover up naked foam. So it's like, oh,
yeah,
wow.
That great.
Yeah.
I even painted a pair of suede shoes.
Okay.
And before I was just painting, I'm like, this material is just absorbing the paint. It's not turning the color. So I actually sealed them with contact cement.
Okay.
And then I painted them, and then they look leather.
Okay.
Yeah.
Want to joke about, well, don't step on blue suede shoes, but then also suede is leather, right? But still, no, that's cool.
I mean, it changed the finish on it.
Well, yeah, I would
Since
expect.
it's sealed, a lot easier to paint.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm glad the contact cement helps.
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing that with the helmet, but then that's more contact cement being used and fumes and things like that, whereas the flexible spackle, it's water-based, so that's easier. It takes some time to sand, which is, I always, what's the word? I always don't look forward to sanding.
Yeah.
I always think this is going to take long, but no, it's not too bad.
No, the really thin. I was using joint compound recently because it ran out of flexible. The really thin, it sands very quick and easy, and it's worth doing. The contact cement won't fill a seam the way the flexible spackle will. So, no, that totally makes sense. Will I do a video of the assembly of the Emmy Award? Asks Steve D. That's the plan. Shot the whole thing last year, in a rush to do it. Like Dan was talking about having it all on his phone. I've got it on my phone. I've got all sorts of video on the phone with the shop foreman doing work, with the shop bot doing work, with stacking things up. Yeah, want to. And now that we're doing round 2, it's like, well, I can get 2 or 3 videos out of this now, right? So, no, I definitely want to. And there's rumblings I'm hearing from Shop Gremlin that there may be another one printed next year that's going to be ASA. So, just so. There's a concern with storage. In Sacramento, in August, it can easily hit 110, or even 100. I think 117, 119 has been the record recently. And then those are degrees Fahrenheit, which means in Celsius, some other number, I have no clue. But a lot. And that's enough that threatens the integrity of PLA when long-term exposure to the heat is there. Even though she's going to be in a crate and suspended, gravity and prolonged heat could cause problems. So there's concern. We haven't even cracked the case open from last year. And I did a foam sealing because of time with clay. So I'm kind of curious how she looks in her case. And unfortunately, she's stacked up in such a way that we can't crack her open right now because it would... Yeah. Her case is up on end, on top of the base, buried behind other projects. It's not something we can get to without turning the camera off and moving it so it wouldn't get hurt. But I'm kind of curious getting into it if the clay liquefied underneath the spray paint. And does she look okay? Does she look like Tote from Raiders of the Lost Ark? I mean, I guess Tote blew up. Does it look like Belloc Belloc blew up. So yeah, Tote's the one that melted. What's Ralph, make that one in copper.
That takes.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Okay, you saw the Schultz Division comment. Schultz Division is reminding us to leave a like in the stream. Yes, Schultz Division. Remember, guys, if you like the stream, if you like seeing content from Odin, if you like seeing content from Dan, if you like seeing more content from Felicia, please remember to put a like on the stream, and maybe even subscribe. That'd be pretty cool. Although I guess a lot of you are subscribed. Do a video of the assembly, take the Emmy body and replace it with the Odin body with wings and ball and call it the Odies for Podcast Maker Awards. So the Emmy is this incredibly slender, like adolescent female body with adult proportions. It's really kind of odd when you really look at her, but it's very Art Deco. She's super slim. She almost looks like a hood ornament from a really old classic car. Now imagine putting this body in place.
Oh, use the Mechagodzilla.
Oh yeah, there we go. And yeah, I agree, Ad Vixen. This would be a whole lot easier if I just used Hank Pym's particle belt. I mean, you've already got the helmet. Just make the Emmy bigger. Oh, there you go. There you are. So, something I don't want to overthink the Marvel movies because that's a bad road to go down. Micronizes a cement truck and then picks it up and throws it. Doesn't it weigh the same? Doesn't it have the same mass? Isn't the whole thing is with Hank Pym's belt? Do I not understand how the belt works? You are reducing the amount of space between the atoms, which causes the item to shrink, or you're increasing the space between the atoms, which causes the item to grow. Either way, same amount of atoms, same amount of mass, just different volume, right? So if you take this truck and shrink it up and put it in the palm of your hand, isn't it going to go through your hand?
Now, are the atoms themselves shrinking too?
No, I don't know.
Otherwise, I mean, if that will make it lighter, then that's probably what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen to Dan. He's smart. he can make BS physics work for a movie. So listen to Dan. But also the idea of having an 8-foot Emmy that only weighs as much as a regular Emmy, where you can just pick her up, that'd be interesting. Although it would still have a lot of torque. She'd still have a lot of leverage, even though she'd only weigh. They weigh like what, 4 pounds? So still, that would be a lot to. Yeah, that'd be interesting. DJ Stumpy is here. Hey, just tuning in. It's great to see the video upload yesterday. Thank you, DJ. I was very happy to get a video put up. Put a lot of. If you want to go back to the very beginning of the stream later on, I talk about pushing through and getting that video to be put up and it becoming an all-nighter to get it done. But no, it was really nice. It was fun to sit and watch the numbers again the next day, which is something I haven't done in a long time.
Funny thing is, we were all watching it when it came out. I had my Bluetooth speaker. I was playing the audio.
Right. So I did a premiere, which I enjoy doing. I didn't do it too often, but I've done it. Where basically a chat is created and I can talk to you guys in the chat while the video is playing, even though we're all in slightly different places in the video. So I did that and had it set up to go off at 10 o'clock because that's been my classic time. 10 o'clock California time in the morning. So I went ahead and did that, even though it was on the wrong day. The con that we were set up for, started at 11. So we had time to be able to watch the premiere and interact with the chat. So I'm sitting there, got it on my phone, watching with it, totally fighting with the micro keyboard on my phone, trying. I was so frustrated with my phone trying to do something with the chat because the amount of typos trying to fix. Dan's got his Bluetooth speaker on and he's watching it over the side. And Shock Gremlin's got it on their phone, watching it too. And on occasion, taking my phone from me and fixing my thing for me. Here, quit bitching. And the premiere was a lot of fun. Sponge Boy, he's back. Hello. Shock Gremlin says I'll go back to using PLA for prints that won't be a finished project since it's cheaper. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I was overselling ASA maybe. Godelup is here. Hey guys.
Hello, welcome to the stream.
Yes, hello, welcome to the stream. So Shock Gremlin's comment I read totally wrong. But mobile game ad. New from Gaming Studios. The game But anyway, just run with that and think of all the stinky jokes you can make. Vesta says, greetings from Finland, Odin. Good to see you on here again. Thank you. Hello. Edward Addington says, I've frozen up on that stream. Vesta says, stream works on here on my end. So there's a lot of world between you and me, Edward, as well as the stream. Literally, at this point, the internet can be bounced off of space. We used to joke about that a lot, but literally now that's true. So anything could be going on there. Advixen, so are we getting a new intro if you do an award intro? I see, because of the intro for... Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So if I make an award thing, do I want to make an Odin Makes joke for...
Like, you can look up Emmys and Emmy intros and
yeah,
get ideas or something.
we've got a 3D scanner, so now I need to make the Emmy pose, right? I am not that flexible.
Make a Blender model. You can
just envision the Alfred Hitchcock opening, right? But it's anyway. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Advixen. Shockroom is saying it would also reduce the gravity on the mass. Would it? Having the less volume would reduce the gravity? Okay. But in Advixen's pointing out, Vexen's great. It's such an encyclopedia knowledge of weird stuff. And an encyclopedia knowledge of memes. Advixen is mad at doing reaction memes on Discord. It's fun, so I appreciate that. So Marvel, in Marvel, that's why it's called Pym particles, because Pym rules. And not Pym rules as he's a fantastic guy, it's the rules that Pym created for the particles. So that's why it works the way they just want it to. And then in DC Comics, Atom can actually stand on an atom. So I guess he gets really small. Patrick Dassau, love the Lightsaber video. The Young Creative Company. Hi, Odin. Hello, Young Creative Company. Yeah. Souls Division. This is Odin's yoga for a pose for a stand. What? Yoga standing for a 3D scan. Ace is saying hello to the dynamic duo and to Shock Gremlin, who's lurking in the background.
Hello, Ace. Welcome to the stream.
Yes, hello, Ace. Hello very much, Ace. DJ Stumpy's got a great question that I'm happy to iterate as part of the stream as well, in case you're not reading along. Is there anybody in the UK who's going to Makers Central? This isn't a big event coming up. I actually just saw Colin Furze talking about this this last week. I'm looking forward to meeting Colin Furze and the Hacksmith. Shame Odin isn't there, but I reckon it would be your cup of tea. Dude, I would love to go to Makers Central. Even just to go and not even be like part of Makers Central. I'm on the wrong side of the pond. I'm on the wrong side of the continent on the other side of the pond. So it's not an affordable thing I do, but I would love to go. However, for everyone who is stuck out here on the west coast of America, there's an event coming up that was just pointed out to me yesterday called Open Sauce, right? It's a joke off of open source, and I'm comparing with my memory here. Apparently, Open Sauce is a lot like what Makers Faire was years ago, where it's just a bunch of creatives getting together, doing a bunch of really weird creative stuff. Because there was a point in time when Makers Faire really kind of started to get more mainstream. It was still at the core what it was supposed to be, but there was more, in Burning Man terms, tourists. And again, I'm not trying to shit on that, but there's anyway. So Open Sauce is apparently more like the old school thing, and he was showing me this list of the makers that are going, which includes Adam Savage and Joel the 3D printing nerd and Colin Furze. And it's like, oh, yeah, and that takes place in San Francisco. I want to go to that. In fact, that takes place the day after the Emmys, where I'm going to be in San Francisco already. I want to go to that. I just want tickets just to walk around.
That just sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does. Patrick, shout out from Brazil. Hello, Patrick in Brazil. And the conversation I'm not remembering pieces to. So if you hear whining, that's Bean in the background here, who's not happy being stuck in a cold room. Oh, it's been a lot of rambling, and I just completely lost mental place where we were. Talking about Emmys, talking about...
We talked about the con this
yesterday. Yeah. Big con yesterday, that was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed it. It was just a little laid back.
Yeah. It's similar to like the Creators Con that I got into, where it's for Cheese and some of the others who've been to these cons, where it's in one room. You got a nice little dealer's room, although it was more of a scholastic. You had a lot of educators. You had a lot of other programmers that are doing both educational program games, like there was Math Tetris. I actually didn't walk around that much. I kind of looked at it.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I didn't either. There's a podcast, a local podcast group was there, Geek Speak, I think, or Geek Elite, or what was it?
I think it was Geek Speak.
Or Geek Speech. Yeah. And they podcasted the entire time that they were there.
I think it was Geek Freak.
Is it Geek Freak?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm horrible. Sorry, guys. And they had a costume contest, of course, because cosplay is a costume contest. When I was originally talking to the organizers with this event, the costume contest comes up, and I talk about my experiences I've had with other contests, because at this point we get to make it up, right? What are we going to do? We haven't done it before at this particular event. But there was another person who was the lead for cosplay stuff. I was the lead for the props and build type of stuff, and they were going to be the lead for the costume stuff. About 3 weeks ago, communication just stopped. Don't know. That's all that was really explained to me, is that, not answering any of my emails. Stuff happens, whatever. I don't know. So I don't want to make any assumptions there. But the end result is, guess who got to be Mr. MC for the cosplay contest, as well as primary judge? That was kind of interesting. Went really quick. There was only 10 contestants, I think.
Okay.
something like that. There wasn't a whole lot. Did it early in the day, which doesn't bother me. Got it out of the way, except that what I've seen in the past with other cons, you do it more towards the 2/3 mark or the 3/4 mark of the day, so you give time for everyone to show up and get their gear on instead of 2 hours into your con. So we had people there, and with the age groups broken down, we ended up having 4 youth, 3 teenage, and 3 adult. And with the teenage and with the adult not so much, but it's pretty obvious who, okay, well, this person's got a full cosplay. It's a cosplay, but you're using the hoodie for the body of your trooper. The whole point of cosplay is to have fun. I got to explain that too, so you can't really necessarily just, get out of here for that. But comparing, a hoodie and a mask to a complete David Tennant character from Good Omens with handcrafted wings, it's like, well, it's pretty obvious who the winner here is. And then, with the adults at least, we got to do a bit of a clap off. Felicia and I both looked at each other and went, yeah, old man Luke. But there was a Vader, old man Luke, and someone else who created their own character. Which is rough. That is a tough road to hoe when you're doing a cosplay contest, is to come up with a character that nobody knows. Because now you're being judged exclusively on your abilities for how you're presenting yourself instead of people's familiarization with the character. And that kind of goes back to me doing Halloween contests and bars with drunk people. The more recognizable you are, the better you're going to get applause because...
And it's easier to judge, because if it's your very first time seeing this character, that it's probably their first time showing it.
Right.
How do you judge that?
Yeah, how do you judge that exactly?
No, he normally has a ripped shirt or whatever,
Yeah. So old man Luke won, and then Felicia and I both talked to each other and decided, and then the person running the show said, let's go ahead and do a clap off anyway. So we did that, and old man Luke still won. So I was like, okay, good, we had the right idea. Now, conversely, with the youth group, the person who made up their own costume, which was an alien cat, they won because had the most elaborate costume, and they made it up, but it was just great. Yeah. and her costume still had jeans and a barely dressed shirt, right? So she had a shirt with a couple of things on it, but then she just had jeans, and she had a tail. So it wasn't quite furry, but it was a cat, so you had to have a tail. She had her mask that kind of looked like a Invader Zim crossed with Shock, right? Shock's the devil mask from Night River Christmas. Lock, Shock, and Barrel, I think, because Barrel's the fat one. So that's kind of what it looked like. And there was someone else who had a really good store-bought Yoda wearing Grogu's coat. But it was a Yoda mask, but it was Grogu's collar. And anyway, so the cat won. So that was kind of cool. It was interesting. And what's fun to me, and this still holds true, here I am doing a live stream where I'm talking to people from Brazil, talking to people from Finland, from the Netherlands, from Scotland, from all Ireland, all over the place. I don't really, I care, right? But I don't have the stage fright. I don't have the, I'm going to say something wrong and I don't really care. It's easy enough to get it fixed. I'm in front of a room of not even 100 people, probably 100. God, so much stage fright.
And because they're actually there, physically there.
Right.
You guys aren't. We're talking to your camera.
Yeah, I'm talking to my camera.
We don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as I realized that me doing this is like as a youth talking on the phone, at home, where I'm just looking at the wall or whatever because I got the phone and this person's where the heck they are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to 100 people, there's 3 of us and a dog in here, and that's it.
Yeah. But also, if you guys do want to do a thing on camera, have that mentality. You're on the phone, even on a speakerphone, talking to somebody else. I've actually had to talk to interview subjects through this as well. Because now I'm talking to you. Every one of you who's listening, I'm talking to you. I'm not sitting here talking to the camera. Hello and welcome to Odin Makes. And today we're going to do what... Because there's this whole DJ thing you'll fall into. Or you'll be super concerned about... I got to say the word exactly the right way. Oh, I said the word wrong, and I want to start all over again. Oh, I can't remember what I said. It's like, just roll with it, and we'll fix it in post. Not that fix it in post is the right term, but depending on the interview person talking, just go with it. Just explain it to the invisible person standing behind the camera. So if you want to do something on camera, explain. Zot did this for me. He would stand behind the camera and said, just explain it to me. And even doing my pre-made videos, I would start a take with, hey, Zot, so what I want to do today is cut. I'm going to be cutting up this foam and doing this thing. And it got me into a better talking rhythm, and it got me into a better interaction with the camera. And it was amazing how much that little thing helped me with on-camera presence. Is that going to work for everyone? I don't know. It'll work for me.
And also, we're all our own worst enemy. We'll probably be concerned with how we sound, how we appear, how we seem, our demeanor. Like with me, I have a low voice, and I have to project my voice. It's not that it's low, but it can be really soft. And I guess that comes from the habit of I talk to myself a lot.
Right.
So I'm using my own tone to talk to myself. Not that everyone will hear it. Hopefully
Right.
they don't. But just do some takes with not just the way you sound and how you want to appear. Don't be concerned too much with how you appear unless you want to be a certain way. Do some takes, review that footage, get the cringe out of seeing and hearing yourself. I had to do that a lot.
Yes. It took me a while to get over, seeing myself on camera.
Yeah, and for those who follow my channel, Dan Does Junk, you may have noticed that I'm doing a little bit of gaming videos, and I'm actually using that to help with that. I'm not really acting when certain things happen in the games. Some people might overreact or whatever,
right.
like scares or things like that. Something's funny. Those are all genuine. And what helps with that, it's just me in the room recording myself, so I'm very comfortable, and I can just you just be yourself. And I actually genuinely like how I am. When I
Okay,
do
good.
that. Yeah, and also I'm doing these videos to also improve my editing abilities, adding features and effects, things like that. So and
right.
just the overall composition of the video. So it's in a way like training and practicing just to better improve how I compose my videos. So and how I present myself to the camera and things like that. So
very cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to catch a couple of them tomorrow because I've got working on stuff for my day job where I'm editing and having to do basically animation for rivers and dams and things. And
damn animation.
And listening to his gameplay is fun because he's talking to the characters in the game. Amazing Creations. The Mason Creations is saying it's Revenge of the Sixth. That's the fun of podcasting to the world. There's parts of the world that it's no longer the 5th, even though it's just barely lunchtime here, where it's the 5th.
They could just take both days. Who cares?
Yeah.
Because 5th, you got TH. 6th, you got the S. So they both sound like Sith.
Well, the Sith just wants the whole galaxy anyway. Like they're going to care which day it is. Ralph is back. His internet did an oopsie. Well, hopefully you got a little baggie and picked it up.
I did one of those this morning. For some reason, I decided to open up my computer while it was on.
Right.
I was looking at things.
Yeah, Advixen's talking about that. Sorry, I'm looking at comments. So we're going back to the idea of Maker Central, DJ Stumpy was talking about. And Advixen saying maybe get the call in for his jar of dirt. So he's doing this underground tunnel, and he's looking at taking these little jars. He put a special label on it, and he's scraping dirt off of the wall of his tunnel into a jar. But he found out there could be legal and tariff limitations to shipping soil through the post. So he doesn't know if he can sell it anywhere other than Maker Central. But 100% he's going to have. I got a jar of dirt that you can pick up directly from Colin at which is cool at Maker Central. Oh, cool. Aaron Miller went to Liverpool Comic Con today. He said it was absolute chaos, but enjoyed himself thoroughly and met Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes, Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool. Ryan E. says, just looked up open sauce, and it looks like a lot of fun. And Ryan's in SAC. That's cool.
Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Ryan. We're just down by Arden Fair Mall.
Yeah.
So let's go going as you get to the app. Okay. Do I MC like Guy Fieri or Gordon Ramsay? but a nice Ramsay voice. What is this costume? This is shit. What did you do? Did you just like take stuff out of the trash and stick it? No. I'm totally, I'm as positive and supportive as I can be, which actually is very easy because it's costumes and I just want to support costumes, period. Same thing with Felicia. She just, this is great. This is what we're into. We want to encourage people to do this because we're into this. So yeah, no, it's all very supportive.
That's one thing I realized. The Death Scythe Gundam cosplay that I made is pretty much like the main thing I'm known for. I have...
Hey, damn it,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's a large suit cosplay where I'm like lifted like 9 or 10 feet off the ground.
Feet?
Yeah, 9 or 10 feet, sure. 9 or 10 inches.
Oh, inches, right.
It could be feet.
Could be feet.
So, in doing that, I have searched online for images of other Death Scythe Gundam cosplays, and being in this community, you got to be nice,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, despite how it, what am I trying to say? Despite how off it might look or whatever, like in terms of the bulk quality build or whatever, it's still someone who put so much time and effort into making it. So, despite how they look, I'm glad there are a good number of them that exist.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's really cool.
It is really cool that there's so many people making Gundam cosplay in different styles and at different levels of expertise, and they're still just doing it.
Yeah, and it's their own interpretation. I will say mine is not true to the original design because I based mine off of a certain figure that it's actually not a Gunpla. it's an action figure. Yeah, that they actually reworked the design a little different. It's actually more boxier, which helps in terms of making it because boxes are easy to make out of foam. But it looks very accurate to the figure, but it's still not like fully true to the actual full-on original design. If you're gonna be pinpointing things, but it still looks great.
Trying to find, which is just hard. I'm trying to remember where it was. Picture of my Gundam cosplay.
Oh yeah. Also, it will be some time before I can actually wear the suit. I didn't wear it at this con yesterday because no, I didn't really share this publicly. Those on Odin's Discord know about it. Over a month ago, I had gotten into a car accident, and I broke my left patella, my left kneecap. So I have limited. I've been having limited movement and range with my left leg, and that's actually required if I'm just gonna walk in the suit. So, but recovery as well. It's going really well.
That's good.
I have started physical therapy. Actually, I have another session this Friday, I think.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But I am stuck wearing this thing.
Which is not something you wear inside Gunpla.
Yeah. This is a full-on leg brace. it's got, well, this is metal, it's got plastic, and yeah, I don't really like wearing this. When early on, after my surgery, I had to sleep in this thing,
Oh wow!
and
really?
it was fully locked in place, just as a precaution. So right, I have it locked. It's a full solid lock. Now I do have some angle release on it per doctor's orders, but yeah, so it will be some time before I can wear the suit again. But I am able to walk, and I drove myself here. I'm able to sit in a car normally, thankfully. That was a relief. I'm like, oh, I can get out of the damn house.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a few miles away, I can leave.
Right.
So, yeah. But yeah, so that's what happened to me. I was thinking of posting something on Discord, but I mean on my Instagram. But I'll just share it here with you guys, and it'll be on your stream forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, got in a car wreck, broke my left kneecap. The actual knee joint didn't get too compromised, although
That's
it's
good.
still, without this, it's still limited in terms of how much I can move it. I can bend it to about 80 to 90 degrees at most before I start feeling a strain on it. So, and that's where the
Okay.
physical therapy is gonna take.
Is
gonna
helping you
help.
through
Yeah.
that, yeah, and knowing when to stop so you don't hurt yourself more. My gun plock costume, I can't find a picture of it. Easy enough to describe. Do you have the one that I was wearing? So not RX-78, but the one that I was wearing.
The one you were wearing?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't have that.
I took an Amazon box, cut a hole in the top, and stuck my arms to the side. So I'm just wearing a cardboard box that said Gundam.
Oh,
across
you're wearing that one. I see. I did that on one of your Halloween live streams with the Death Scythe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the head and then just a box that said Death Scythe. That's where I got that from. Yeah, that's a great cosplay. Cheap too. Anyone can do it.
Yeah, anyone can do that.
Yeah.
Would not kick you out of the cosplay contest.
No.
Probably wouldn't win, but I wouldn't kick you out.
Unless the cosplay contest was just for that one. Who has the best cardboard box?
Yes, best cardboard box
Who
cosplay.
spelled Gundam right? Who has the best penmanship?
Actually, a cardboard category wouldn't be bad for a cosplay contest because there's some serious skills involved in making a kick-ass cardboard cosplay.
Yes, I have actually seen Gundam helmets. There's a guy on YouTube who makes these helmets out of cardboard. They're 110% accurate. If that even
Right,
exists.
right.
They look so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just out of cardboard.
Yeah. No, there's been, yeah. And unlike foam, cardboard you can't get a good compound curve without just really compromising it because it gets all wrinkly and weird. Because foam you can stretch it and get this compound curve.
Yeah,
like
you can cheat.
Yeah, you can cheat. You can't do that with cardboard. It's especially corrugated cardboard is real happy to bend one way, the other way it's like, yeah, no, I'm ruined now.
Yeah.
Jerry Can Cosplay is back. It's time for tea and a ham and cheese toasty. Sweet. Captain Anakin Sparrow. That's at least you're choosing only one fandom there.
Sorry, I'm just putting my brace back on.
Yeah, Dan's just getting dressed. Are you planning on making more videos soon? This is a great question. So I am not in a position to be able to go back to weekly videos. I've still got a day. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've still got a day job because at this point I'm going to have one. YouTube changed so much between when I started and even just the pandemic. It looked like, this is going to work. And then, without going into a bunch of messy details that I'm speculating about, going full-time, there was this assumption that if I went from 2 videos a month every other week, if I went from that to every video a week, I should effectively, I didn't expect to double the amount that I was getting in, but I figured it would get close. It didn't. It became a fourth of what I was making originally. And so there's no way that I can go back to that kind of output. The stress on me for doing it, I've got rent coming up, I've got to do this. That stress, the cost of doing this stuff, which isn't a lot, but when you're living right at that line of I have enough to pay bills or I can buy dinner, you can't go out and buy a bunch of craft material. So I'm not in a position to be able to go back and do the weekly videos again.
It's no longer worth that grind, that
Yeah,
suffering.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You were insane for doing that.
about killed myself doing that, it feels.
But look at all the great stuff you have here as a result of it.
Yes, thank you. And all the great stuff here. Thank you, guys.
All over the place.
So, there's a couple of the YouTubers that I follow that I enjoy that have the upload schedule of I got one done, here it is. I kind of leaning towards that, but I do want to restrict myself a bit. I want to have a goal of if I can get one a month, I'm going to be really happy. And that's a huge difference from one a week. But that's kind of where I want to go with it. And I got one out in May. So I want to get one out in June. You know, if I can get one out sooner, great. But I've got an Emmy to build. And so I can't imagine I'm going to be spending the week or so it's going to take off hours, not during day job, to get a video done. I just don't see having that time. So
At least you do have the live streams.
I do have the live streams.
Yeah, but I understand that that can be different from a video.
Oh, it is. It's totally different. This is just me talking to the camera. I haven't built a damn thing.
And that's why I'm glad my channel has no focus. I had to explain like who I was and everything at the con yesterday because this was my first time having my own table, my own booth. So people were wondering. I had a bunch of stuff on the table. I had the large Lego pieces, the figures. I had a 3D printed gun. That was for let's see, it's a Halo 2 Magnum.
Oh, okay.
And then I had my RC drift car. I had a couple other foam things in the back. I had my own music playing through my speaker because that's also what I do. My own original music.
Right.
No focus. Oh, and the Death Scythe was like on this side. So I had to explain to people like who I am, what I do, and they actually liked that. Like I have no focus when they heard that. They actually enjoyed that, and you know I do. That's why I'm glad my channel doesn't have like a focus. It's Dan does junk. Junk is anything.
Right.
And gaming videos are also part of it. So that's why I'm glad that I stumbled upon that game.
Right.
It's called That's Not My Neighbor. You can get it on itch.io, and it's just a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to play.
Someone was just saying that, Ralph, I think the game does look like the game that Dan is playing looks like a lot of fun, and even more fun with all Dan's comments.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I want to try to find more games like that.
That'd be cool.
That are similar. It's just a lot of fun. You get to watch who's coming in and judge their appearance.
Right. Yeah, you're doorman basically for some sort of facility.
Yeah. Are you a human? Are you not? I need to send the people? Do I need to call the people out to? The nice term, kill you.
I gotta call the cleaners just a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an SCP doorman.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I got a couple of people here wishing you well. They totally missed the story on Discord.
Thank you.
You'd hurt yourself. So, yeah, Jerry Can saying that. Schultz's Vision's got a great idea, though, Dan. Why don't you just go ahead and commit and cut the leg off and do a kick-ass Hiccup cosplay? Come on, it's
you know
worth it.
what? If any of you are familiar with Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt, the pilot of the Psycho Zaku has no limbs.
None?
None.
Okay.
I think he got hurt and he ended up losing like one or both legs. But the way they designed it's called a Psycho Zaku. It's freaking cool looking.
So this is Psycho, like Psycho.
No, it's just insane.
Oh, Insane Psycho.
Yeah,
Okay.
that type of Zaku.
Okay.
The way they had that suit designed for the pilot is, I guess it's controlled somehow, but the pilot ends up having
I imagine
metal rods for arms and legs.
Oh.
And that's it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He plugs into it, and that's how he controls the suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Zaku, Z-A-K-U, is...
yeah.
The Gundam are one faction, Zaku is the other faction, basically. You can get way more detailed than that. But for those of you who don't know, so that's that other word you're hearing. No, that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought, it was, I don't know what made him actually commit to it, the pilot.
Right.
To just, chop off the rest of my limbs.
Yeah, who cares? I'm only good in a suit anyway.
Yeah.
Groot has a good one.
Groot? I'm trying to be given cryptic messages from a cryptid, and I'm not understanding at all.
What happened to my YouTube?
What happened to your YouTube?
Warbla.
Okay, so Groot is saying, speaking of foam, cardboard, and cosplay, a material that I've heard a lot about was Warbla. And what is that? What's the benefits, and what's the pros and cons? So this is from Groot Grusin. Hey, Groot! What is Warbla? So I have not directly worked with Warbla.
Same. I've seen it being worked on.
I've seen it being worked on. Yeah, a lot. DIY Prop Shop. I know both Elizabeth Rage and Hendo loved Warbla, so I got to talk to them about it. And I was told that at least at that time, Sacramento seemed to have better prices for Warbla than LA did. But when I went to go and price it, a piece about the size of the cutting mat here, maybe a little bit bigger, was $70. And that was like, yep, I'm not buying that. Warbla is a low-temp thermoplastic mixed with a cellulose body filler to make a very malleable material. It is stiff when it's cool. It is very strong when it's cool. But with a heat gun or other heat source, you can very easily
form it.
mold, form it, cut it with a pair of scissors, and it'll stick to itself while heated. So you can cut out your little flourish pieces, heat at the backside, and just stick it to itself, and it'll bond. Or you can even do seams that'll actually, make your armor, and you do, and it'll stick. So you're not using glues and stuff. Much like a PLA, a 3D printed thing, or even foam, you can't leave it in a car if you're in a hot environment because it's going to take itself apart. And kind of like foam, all the little tiny scrap pieces of formula of Warbla is still usable. Even if you're just wadding it up into a piece of gum and smashing it into something, you can do that. There was an old craft material called friendly plastic. This goes back to 80s and 90s. Warbla is effectively that, but a smaller grain with this other material added in. I can remember in the early 90s, you could buy friendly plastic as a strip, where it was just black or white on the back, and then it had some sort of cover on the front. It was either metallicized or it was a print, and so it really reminds me of that because it really kind of is, but it's not. Right now, a couple of different craft stores, like we've lucked into finding some Warbla at Michael's when they were starting to blow out their cosplay stuff, and got the big rolls for like $50. And then I was in a Hobby Lobby recently, same thing. They had a big roll that they were putting on clearance. So I was like, okay, Warbla on clearance, do that. That's actually material set aside for a project that Shock Gremlin wants to do. So I still haven't touched it. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to, because the price point for me isn't where I want to be at. And at this point, I'm just too used to foam.
Yeah. Used to foam, we have the skills for foam. It's easily obtainable for us.
Yeah.
So
leather shops have a similar material. It doesn't quite have all the same properties, but it is a low thermally reactive plastic that's used for making holsters, for either firearms or walkie-talkies or whatever. So you can make the hardened shell that goes around the item that you want to put on your belt, and then you cover that with leather. and it's Kydex or something. And I bought a sheet of that because that was, it was a sheet about so big for like $10. And it's like, okay, well, I'll give this a shot. It was also a lot thicker. But it's still on the shelf. I still haven't touched it. Because hoarding craft supplies is a big part of being a crafter. Awesome. We're having...
Yeah.
Heading to work. Okay, cheese. Talk to you later. Dan does jokes. Speak English!
Yeah, you want your comments read, right?
Well, I can read it wrong. Schultz Division says, Jag har schmunkskola som siga kallas caviar and bra. Yeah, because caviar in the bra is good. Schultz Division says, jealous of our awesome language skills? Yes. We're not even speaking the same language. Not exactly jealous. I'm spoiled that I'm living in an area where I don't necessarily have to have multi-language skills. If I knew Spanish, it would actually help. It would be good. There's a lot of people in California that speak Spanish. I do not. I only know the Spanish that Sesame Street taught me. So I am heavily impressed by anybody who lives in an area that has more language influence on them because of proximity to other cultures that have more language, and that you guys can speak multiple. That's great. Mm-hmm. I love it. In no way do I ever want to force anyone to, no, you're going to speak English. No! That wasn't your first language, and you're trying that hard, and you speak better than most American high schoolers. Dude, you're doing great! Ralph says, I find most of my crafting supplies in the trash, and I hoard them like a madman. So for those of you who are joining in late, Ralph is a scrapper. He finds a lot of his crafting supplies through e-waste and other metal sources, but still, yeah. Me too, Ralph. There was times when living in an apartment complex, I go outside. Oh, it's a couch. Oh, it's a bed cushion. It's foam. And I would, put the parts back in the trash I don't want and run away with foam. Yeah.
I remember my last job. I would find a good amount of pretty good stuff at the back of the building where the dumpster was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found this nice set of I think it was like bed frame rails or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And it was just a frame and it had the vertical slats. Those are so I built a deck in front of my tub shed, and I extended the roof over it. Okay. Those are just the side rails now for it.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Yeah, so using yeah.
I have no problem upcycling materials. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I used to pull stuff out. So I worked for a craft store that no longer exists. Again, back in the 90s when I was familiar with friendly plastic. Oh yeah, I would never intentionally put anything in the trash, right? Because that's basically just stealing. But you come, that's a usable piece. That's different. That was genuinely discarded. That's a usable piece.
Yeah, I hoard a lot of my own foam scraps too. Like, that's big enough to use for something.
Exactly.
That's big enough to use.
Adam Savage calls them a tasty chunk. That's yeah.
That's a good term.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely and it gets to a point also where you start having your own gauge of what is savable, what do you want to keep and what's not. And you're cleaning up, it's like, I've got too many of that size. Or there's too many curves. So it's a lot of foam, but there's all these cookie bites out of it to where it's not really anything. Yeah. Yanolith is here. Sorry I'm so late. Been trying to keep it easy because my arm is hurting. And happy Revenge of the 5th. Well, I'm sorry that your arm is hurting, Yanolith, but thank you for jumping in.
Yeah, welcome to the stream.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. As soon as the stream is over, I'm going to vegetate. I'm not going to... I have no hardcore plans for the remainder of the day. Goldlope says, Dan does amputation. So
I don't plan on doing that.
Is that to other people, or is that self-amputation?
I think it means self.
I'm knowing it means self.
I broke my kneecap. Let's get rid of a leg.
Right.
The whole leg.
And Schultz Division is missing that Dan does funk.
Oh.
which, by the way, has got a little dancing emoji to it.
No.
So I'm pretty sure this isn't Dan just getting out of a Gundam.
So what I interpret that as, because of the things that I do, which is make music.
Which is make music.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I need. So to do that,
I do believe that's exactly how he meant it.
I don't know, because I used to make. I have like 30 of my own songs on my phone. It's a certain mindset you have to get into to compose a song. You know, you have to come up with all the elements, bass tracks,
Right.
rhythm, melody, beats, and then once you get all of that, you have to come up with just the general composition,
Right.
theme, emotion, direction. If there's like a little journey you wanted to take you on, so yeah, there's a lot involved with that. It takes me a while to get into that type of mindset, and I haven't been in that mindset for over a decade. So, but I do want to get into making my own music again. I may even, because I also play guitar as well.
Okay.
I may incorporate some of my own playing into it this time, because it's just been me on a Fruity Loop Studio using all of their sounds and beats and things like that to compose all my songs with.
Okay, cool.
That'll be pretty cool to incorporate my own playing into it. So
Yeah.
I have to develop a metronome again if I'm going to do that. Oh, that's off. Oh, what the heck?
What do you mean it's off? Of course it's off. No, that's cool. That's actually very cool. Yeah, I played saxophone in high school very poorly. But yeah, so I just didn't continue with music. But
Yeah, I did violin in elementary to middle school. I was actually part of a quartet.
oh, cool.
Our teacher filtered out the students and found out, oh, these four are good. I was like second violin.
Oh, nice.
It was actually really, really fun.
Yeah.
Just playing with three others, the same song, our own parts, and just hearing all of it just meshing well together.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then I just transitioned to guitar. I'm not that great, but
It's all good.
yeah, I can play.
At this point, I can mostly play rhythm games, but that's even then I'm not that good.
So yeah, I might get into doing that again. We'll
Cool.
see. I have time since, because of my injury, I'm out of work. So I've just been home. Actually scheduled to return to work sometime in June.
Good.
So it's about a month out, and part of me is like, yeah, I miss going to work, doing that stuff. But then the other part's like, I'm kind of getting spoiled. I'll stay at home, 'cause I'm getting things that I want to get done, or
That's
be able
awesome.
to do them. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Like you're getting all this minifig stuff done. Can you? No, you can't see him. He's totally hidden.
there he is.
Big old Vader. Dan and I, mostly Dan, we've been working on giant Legos, and I know that giant Lego figures. And Dan has he has the big Blacktron figure that we pulled out on streams a couple of times, and I've taken to cons. He was making helmets for them, and is pretty much finished making an Entron figure now
Yeah,
as well.
and here's Mtron with, I think that's the third helmet, the one that I gave you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there he is holding a large radio, which is a walkie-talkie, which that is based off Odin's pattern, and then a Lego wrench, which I recently made.
Yeah, which is very cool. And the wrench has got. You're telling me we found cardboard tubes that are almost exactly the right size for the for the pips and for the hands.
Yeah.
So it's got one of those in there, right?
A little larger. I think it's the same size that I'm using for the air tank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's got that corner just to have like a more solid core.
Right, and to keep the the
shape,
serve.
yeah. I mean, it'll still squish and move, but holds the shape for the most part. I may do a video on that as well. So
Cool.
I want to make Lego tools.
Yes, more giant Legos.
Large Lego tools that you can't really use as real tools.
The Odin Makes channel will quickly devolve into only large Lego pieces.
Yeah, mine will too.
So quick and easy. Mark Buckman was saying, what was your favorite Star Wars costume for cosplay? From Mark. So I guess I assume the from Mark means he's signing his question. At the con in general, Yeah, this has got some interpretation. One that I've seen in person that impresses me a lot because there's a lot that goes into building it, right? There's a guy locally that does a Gamorrean guard and nails it. Looks like the one right from the movie. It's got the oversized fingers. It's got the green pig mask. And I've always looked at the Gamorrean guard because I've got the body to be one. Whereas I would not fit in Stormtrooper armor.
Won't make you fit.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a pot-bellied Stormtrooper. He's right, actually. It doesn't matter. There's lots of troopers of different body sizes. It's just my own mindset. So I was, because it's, you got foam construction with a latex skin or a fabric skin, whichever it is he's using. And there's the mask. And the mask is fitting well enough that it's right up to the wearer's eyes. I don't even know the gender of the wearer. Right up to the wearer's eyes. And just a little bit of makeup like Batman in order to make it mesh up with the mask. And they can move their mouth inside. And the Gamorrean kind of munches a little bit. And so what I've seen personally, that really impresses me because the style of building, I am still super partial to rubber monsters. Frank Ippolito, a number of years ago with Tested, did a big foam Rancor, which I would love to see. I haven't seen it in person, but I saw the videos, and I think Ted even helped out with that. It was done out of an open cell, I call it couch foam, of different densities. So there were parts of the costume for like the elbows and the shoulders that were a low density film that had like a lace cutting put into it. So it was super flexible. But then the arms and the stuff that's more rigid was a higher density foam that was still flexible. So it didn't bend in the wrong spot. And then they sculpted and cast the head. So that one really impressed me. As far as, the 501st just impresses me because they look, the whole point is to look like they walked off screen.
Yeah,
and
they look so good.
Yeah, they always look so good. And same thing with a lot of the droid builders. A lot of the droid builders look like they just drove right off the screen. It's amazing, and I am also highly impressed. Was actually talking to Shock Grumman on the way down to the shop today. Saw one at WonderCon. Someone made basically an astromech body with what looked like there's the big probe droid and there's the little probe droid. Not like the one that Darth Maul had, but he still's got that round multi-lens saucer head with jellyfish arms. There's a smaller version, so it looked like he stuck that onto an astromech body, and then there's a receptacle on the top, kind of like Mazinga, whatever. So Lola plugs into the top, Leia's droid. So one of those droids plugs into the top. So it's kind of like this mashup of three droids in one, which, I enjoy that because why not? It's Star Wars. It is kind of whatever you want to do. If guys can cut up an SUV to make it into a limo, why can't you stick a pro droid on an astromech body? Tell me it's different. Groot says the huge Lego figures are looking awesome.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun to make as well.
No, I never shut up long enough for you to talk about Star Wars costumes. If you have any, or do you want me to go back to...
So, to be honest, I am a Star Wars fan. I don't really do anything for May the 4th and Friends of the 5th or 6th,
right,
or anything like that. But I do enjoy what people do, and going to cons, going to more cons recently that I've been doing, just seeing them all, I might do something. Actually, for this event, I didn't bring it with me, but I actually made my own custom Sith-inspired lightsaber. I made it in half a day. It's just PVC pipe and craft foam.
Right. Yeah, he was showing this to me yesterday, and he told me he did this. In the back of my head, it's like, wow, he haven't shown this to me before. This is really cool. And I'm trying to think of when he did this because he hasn't shown it to me before. So I didn't really react to the idea that he had built it.
Yeah, I wanted to actually unveil it at that event.
Yeah, you built it that week, right? Yeah.
Actually, the week before.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought I was gonna get a mental block, like, what do I want it to look like, this and that, and then when I came up with it, I'm like, oh, I'm done. I still have time. Anyway, so I was looking up various images of Sith lightsabers, and this is what I came up with.
Nope. Okay, well,
that's fine.
So it's got auto rotate on, but
So that's what I came up with.
now this is a picture of your finished saber, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing a door behind it. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's just 3 different sizes of PVC pipe, and just the rest of it is just craft foam. And the chrome part is aluminum heater tape. The bottom ring part has a piece of what do you call it? It's brushed aluminum vinyl.
Oh,
I
okay.
forgot I had some of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like shelf paper? Or is
vinyl,
it for
vinyl
cricket?
wrap
Okay.
for cars or whatever.
Cool.
But yeah, so that's the design I came up with, and I am really happy with how it turned out. Actually, kind of surprised.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
Yeah, it actually looks like it's someone's.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it totally works. It doesn't look generic at all. I like it a lot. And you got what appears to be an emitter switch, and you got the diagonal cut, so you got that thumbnail cut for the emitter.
If I were to redo it, which who knows, I might. So the beam, obviously, it's a clear polycarbonate tube. I might stick it in deeper to where the choke point is there, so that way this will light up. I'll wrap it with like I'll put like a chrome tint on it, so when it's off, it'll still look like that. And maybe trying to point.
Right. it's
Maybe
hard.
this part will light up as well.
Oh,
when it's
that'd be
on.
cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, as we're working with the camera, I can see what you guys can see right now as the program coming out, but I'm seeing it as the camera sees it. So right is actually right and left is actually left from the camera's point of view. It's not like looking in the mirror where you're not actually looking at, I mean, my right side's still my right side, but it's reflected backwards in the mirror. So if I was facing myself, it would be my left side. So it gets to be really weird trying to do things with the camera.
And here's a picture of it lit up.
Oh, there you go. Sorry.
It didn't light up that well yesterday because it was very bright.
It was very bright, yeah, and batteries don't last terribly long on these. I like to overpower my lightsabers as well to make them impressive, but the reality is the batteries die in a hurry.
But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out.
Yeah.
Now, this is not a combat ready at all. It's just a prop.
Okay.
A prop to hold and look the part.
So do you have a set screw or anything in the end to hold the blade in place?
Yeah, I have, what do you call it? A knob.
Oh, you got a knob? A little?
Yeah.
Okay.
A threaded
Nice.
to
Yeah.
hold the blade in place. Yeah, just one.
That's the.
I just wanted something quick and dirty.
Sure.
So
Well,
this is what pieced together quickly looks like for me.
yeah. And the threaded knobs are great for sabers because they just become more greebles.
Yeah.
DJ Stumpy's asking if the Proton Pack got finished. No. I've not seen Frozen Empire yet, so I tried to steer away from anything Ghostbusters to avoid spoilers. We're not doing anything coming from Frozen Empire, so don't worry. We're still doing our interpretation of an 84 Proton Pack. And yeah, I actually haven't had a chance. I've been so focused on getting Mega Figures done and getting all these other projects done. I haven't seen Dune. I haven't seen Frozen Empire. There was something else I think came out that I wanted to see that I can't even remember now. I haven't seen Ahsoka yet. So yeah, I'm behind on seeing stuff myself.
Godzilla.
Oh yeah, the new Godzilla film. That's what it was. The new Godzilla film came out. The
Godzilla
King
one.
Kong. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the King Kong one. I haven't seen that one yet. I'll see him. It'll happen.
Eventually.
That thing still has good battery. It has a lithium-ion battery, so
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Ultimate lithium ion.
Also, going back to the lightsaber I made.
More of Dan's clean work.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Anyway, going back to the lightsaber I made. So my channel, Dan Does Junk, I'm close to 2,000 subscribers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I actually didn't realize that. I'm like, oh, I'm approaching that. I was thinking of doing a giveaway if I reach 2,000. And I was thinking maybe that lightsaber can be the prize, the giveaway prize.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the one that I just made.
Okay, that'd be really cool.
So, how do you guys, how's that sound to you guys?
Schultz Division loves it because he says the saber looks sick. The Sith saber is so sick. I love your design, Dan.
It looks so Sith.
Yeah, but well,
Sith.
it may be a type.
Sick Sith.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if autocorrect put it back to sick. And yeah, Ralph agrees that the saber looks awesome.
Thank you.
And perhaps Dan should make a Rodan cosplay. Oh, that'd be cool. Rubber monsters! Young Odin remembers the Smithsonian magazine cover with George Lucas sitting in the middle of all the maquettes and models for Return of the Jedi. And yeah, that was an inspiring photo. Just staring at that going, these are all models and rubber masks, and I want to make that shit. And that was, yeah, that was a, yeah. Zvad Tankadu? I don't know. I can't pronounce anything. Sorry, Schultz, if that hurt.
Okay.
Okay. Dad Vixen. Dan realizes he's better at this than he thought. Oh, the unbearable weight of massive talent.
So, I tell everyone I eat humble pie as part of my everyday diet. It's funny because I look at the death scythe. I'm just staring at it, and part of me is like, yeah, I know I'm capable of doing that. Sure. The other part is like, holy crap, I made that thing. Like, wow. It's like, wow, I'm surprised and I'm not. It's weird.
Yeah, it is.
It's something I have to deal with in here, because it affects other things that, you know.
Yes. I do not self-brag enough. Humble pie, like he says, I eat more than my fair share of that. To the point that I actually missed out on a job opportunity because I didn't promote myself enough in the direction that they were looking for in the second interview. So, yeah, I actually humble myself to my detriment. Not saying that all of you guys need to go out there and you know, be the Herb Tarlick used cars. Hey, I know that, you know, but yeah. I managed to be low key and humble enough that yeah, I blew it. Yeah. Grusin says, and speaking of mirrors, can't someone invent a mirror that actually reflects things backwards? So if I'm in front of a mirror and I raise my right arm, the reflection will raise its left arm like we're going to go in and shake hands. Yeah, just point a camera at yourself and watch what's on screen. Yeah. You can even, if you have there's got to be a way that you can get like a pinhole through a screen or whatever so you can look at it. I've seen smart mirrors that people have made that is actually a monitor with a smart mirror with other information on it, and I believe they actually have to flip the video so it works as a mirror. But don't flip it.
Yeah, just don't flip it.
Schultz Division's got all sorts of lovey eyes over winning a Sith saber.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yano is asking if I've seen the trailers for the new Star Wars series, The Acolyte. I've seen one. I think another one dropped today, or did the series drop today? Something came out today. Want to see it. It looked good. I liked what I saw. The one little thing that I saw, I liked. I can't go into it in detail, not because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but because I don't remember well enough, other than I was impressed and watched the trailer 3 or 4 times in a row. The Trash Panda. Good morning, crew. Hello, Trash Panda. Welcome to the 6th.
Hello.
And we got more Nords flying back and forth. So, well, Dan and I talked about what we were going to do today. We knew we wanted to recap the con, and I think we managed that. Yesterday was a May the 4th convention here in Sacramento that happened to work out to where I was always invited to come down and have a booth space. So, of course, I invite Felicia along because I do most of the time. It's great to have someone else in the booth with me. But we got a secondary table, so all of a sudden Felicia got her own table, which that made her so happy because that was the first time at a con. She had her own dedicated space, right? She doesn't care. It's not like she's felt like she's been left out, but she actually had her own space that was hers. And then when we show up and Dan wants to come down and bring his Gundam and just kind of hang out and be supportive, someone else had canceled and couldn't come down, so now there was an open table. So the promoter shifted where people were sitting. So Dan was sitting at a table that was all his own. I had my table that was all my own, and Felicia had a table that was all her own. And so we got to talk about that. That was actually really cool. It's like I'm half wondering, do I need to set up space for Felicia and Dan a little more at SAC Anime, because that was really kind of cool having multiple makers in a spot instead of just it's all me.
And what was fun too is they had a table decorating contest for all the vendors, and I actually got some votes. I was very surprised. I was one of 2 or 3 altogether who didn't even have a freaking tablecloth.
Right.
I had, it was last minute that I was getting a table. I went home that night. I started just printing things out on my cheap laser printer, my logo and everything. And I found, my wife does Cricut work, and I found her stash of cardstock. Ooh, colors, okay. So I started glue sticking stuff together, just so I can just masking tape them on the table, so that people know who I am or whatever. So yeah, it actually worked out surprisingly well to me. Yeah. And I'm glad I didn't win it.
Right.
When they were announcing, I was like, it cannot be me. That's ridiculous if it's
right. Yeah, they were doing the announcement. It's like, do the thing, and I'm in the middle of my workshop looking up, going, okay, I don't really. There was an option to participate, and the promoter insisted that I fill out the paperwork and submit it just kind of for their own records, right? And then that was going to be blanket for Felicia, which means it became blanket for Dan, and that's fine. But there was actually a thing that said, circle 1, do you want to participate in the contest? Yes, no. So I circled no. But they ended up giving me a voting box anyway. Here, this is for your table. They're like, oh, okay. I didn't think I was playing.
Everyone that.
Yeah, they gave everyone. Yeah. They put one on the workshop table.
Yeah, I saw that. Because the people who attended the event, and I think were the vendors able to vote too, or no?
I didn't have a coin, so I don't think so.
Yeah, so it was just the people who just came to see the event.
Yeah.
I didn't have my box up. Someone gave me one of the coins. I had no idea what it was about.
Right.
I was just looking at it for a while, actually. Thank you.
Thank you. The heck is this? Yeah, the promoter just bought a big bag of plastic pirate gold coins, right? So that was your token. You could deposit as your vote for the booth win.
I think I probably had 8 at most.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that really surprised me.
I didn't look at how many. I know I saw people give me a couple.
The last time I looked in and counted, it was at 6. So I think I got a couple more after that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny because I didn't know what the damn coin was for. I was like, oh, this is that thing. Let me go grab the box and put it together. Stick it on.
It was a 6-hour con, and I spent at least 2, if not 3 of those hours away from my booth. So I got no idea. The people who did win were the 2 guys, the Geek Freak, Geek Speech, the podcast guys, who had the big banner pop up, and of course, they're very interactive, and they were running live the entire time, commentating and talking about stuff. So people got to come on and talk. So they won, which is great. I'm glad they won because that was an interactive booth. So that's cool.
Yeah, that was cool. They were just across from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, are they gonna call me over at some point? That'd be cool.
Right. Nah, I don't.
Yeah.
Did they? I think they were very much. If you want to approach us, then great. Let's do this thing. But I don't think they were coercing people.
Okay.
Yeah, they were corralling people.
Good, because I'm not sure how long I could.
Right. Yep, I'm excited for Aqualite as well. Ionolith, reading that thing. It's June 4th. Oh, it's another month out. Great. Schultz, I really don't mind that you guys are talking about whatever you want to talk about in the chat.
Yeah,
and
go ahead and keep trash talking unless in your own language. That's fine.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's the best way to do it. And Trash Panda is here, so you got an authority on trash now.
Yeah, he just calls it talk.
He just calls it talk. Cosplay repair courtyard sounds great. Kind of, yeah. When we're doing the cosplay repair booth at SAC Anime, it is kind of a courtyard. It's a space actually bigger than what I'm in right now for my studio, because it's about 30 some odd feet wide and about 15 feet deep. In my studios, I've got more space than that, but all I utilize is less than 20 by 20 feet. Please just Google what that means in metric, and it's the foot equivalent of metric.
There you go.
So, and we end up setting up a number of tables and usually have up to 6 people at the same time helping out with cosplay repair, and we're busy. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. It's not like it's great.
Yeah, just people on both sides of the table helping out. So
yeah. Sometimes he'll grab a small box of the immediate supplies and walk the line.
I'll just grab some stuff, see if because they just need something simple.
Yeah, I just need a dip of hot glue. I just need super glue. And Dan's like, oh, I got it here. And then they're out of line, which is great. Ed Vixen says, be cool if you design a triangle booth with all of your tables. Yeah, probably more you, because we're always up against a wall. Not always, but at SAC Anime, we're always kind of up against a wall. So
it becomes an L.
Yeah, SAC Anime becomes an L. It's 23 o'clock over here in Sweden. I have to hit the hay. Good night, group. So we got more greetings from Bolivia. Oh, sweet. Hello, Sebastian. And Trash Panda is oh, thank God he's using some real world measurements here. Thank you. So Trash Panda is letting us know that my booth space, my shot space, is probably more equivalent to about 32,000 square coffee stirrers, or possibly about 17,000 square cat toys. Thank God I know what that means. So thank you. I appreciate that. Connor Cook is here saying, hey, Odin and Dan, how are you guys doing this fine Monday? I'm looking forward to signing off. No offense to everyone, but we're running towards the end of the stream, which also means I can have lunch.
And also to answer your question directly, we are looking forward to Monday.
Yes, we are looking forward to Monday, because for us it's still Sunday.
Yeah, we are in the past.
Yeah, we are in your past. Hello, future. Again, when I was young, Dad had a digital clock that had the time zones of the world as they were at the time of the purchase of the clock. So it was kind of like a picture frame. It was very gold colored, whatever. You had the lines running through everything, so you could just touch it, and the digital readout would change to the time zone of the area you touched. I don't think it lit up. I think it told you. I think it had a part of the LCD would just say what you touched, or maybe there was like a little indicator. But but that idea that the sun is rising in when the sun is rising in eastern Texas, you still can't see it in western Texas, and that whole concept blown to a global scale. It's Sunday in California, but it's Monday, on the other side of this box, because I still think of the world in that. It's a classic. You split the Pacific Ocean, right? The flat map. Classic to me. I don't know. It might be different somewhere else. I don't know how the metric map works. So the other side of the world, it's for the dateline it's different. In fact, last night at my friend's Warp 11 show, this actually relates. Just give me a quick second. So I got to go there and see a whole bunch of people I used to go to work to play with, and I got to watch my friend's band Warp 11, warp11.com. Go ahead and look them up. It's a Star Trek parody band. All the songs are about sex, drugs, and Star Trek. One of my favorite songs is Red Alert. The ship's on Red Alert because they're out of beer. You don't want to be around a Vulcan where they're going through detox. But two of the guys there, Ryan and Jason, when we were working for Play and they were doing what I'm doing right now, they were like pioneers in this live streaming stuff, and they were making hardware to do it because the computers at the time couldn't crunch it real time. They sent them to Tonga for the millennia. So here comes New Year's Day, 1999 to 2000. Jason and Ryan, with one of the Trinities and a couple of cameras, got to go to East Tonga and set up and do the whole, it's New Year's, this is exciting. And as soon as it was over, they packed up, crossed the date line. Now they're in 1999 again, and here comes the sun, and yay, it's New Year's again. And I thought that, so yeah, Jason, one of the guys that was singing last night to replace one of the band members who's passed away. And then I got to talk to Ryan later on. They were both there. And just the idea that, yeah, you can do that on this planet. Because it's arbitrary anyway, right? Like the spinning ball cares.
Yeah.
But we want to classify things. And so you have to have this line somewhere. And there's a country where the date line goes right through it. I think that's really cool.
That would be awesome. Like, oh, you wanted this today? Let me go do it.
Yeah.
Go back, do whatever work you need to do. Here it is.
Here it is.
It's not late.
Right. Oh, I gotta mail this check. Let me go. Look, it's date stamped.
Needs to be postmarked at this date. Okay.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Connor Cook said it sounds like a cool clock. It was, it's pre-computer. Well, it's not pre-computers, but it's pre like the computers we have now. It was just this. So it was neat to have this thing you could just play with. It wasn't, but yeah, it was very cool.
It does sound really cool.
Is making cosplay, so DJ Stumpy is asking if making cosplay is more functional, adding in pockets for a suit that wouldn't normally have them. Is that frowned upon, or is it down to exactly how you want it to be? It is 100% down to exactly how you want it to be. In fact, if you're able to take parts of your cosplay and create them to be functional like that, you can take off a piece of your jetpack armor and, oh, look, my lunch is inside. Mm-hmm. Most people are impressed by that. It is not frowned upon at all. If you can work pockets into something that normally doesn't have pockets, it might be frowned on if all of a sudden you have a big phone bulge, or you've got you're wearing a Star Trek uniform, but obviously you've got something shoved in a pocket that doesn't exist. Okay, that might be because it's easy to call out, but if you're able to do it in such a way that it doesn't, it doesn't call attention to itself. That's the best way to put it. No, it's great, and people actually find that. I find that. Let me quantify this to you. I find that impressive. I think that's great. I've seen there's different characters like Cable, who's got those giant life field guns, right? And the back flipped open, and he pulled all of his con stuff out of it. He's able to put his posters in there, and it was just, it just became a convenient place to carry stuff.
Yeah, I put my belongings in the backpack of the Death Scythe when I'm wearing it.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
So you have, yeah, nice.
It's got room in there. I made it an empty box, so.
Okay.
I see that harder to do if you have like something that's like a unitard type of outfit.
Right. Yeah, like
you
Venom.
will see a phone or wallet in it.
Yeah, Spider-Man would be a hard time doing that. But still, I see since in the comics Spider-Man will make a web backpack. I've seen people do that for Spider-Man. But yeah, because he's got to carry his his camera around. Groot's got a pickle. I have one final bad joke for you. Speaking of foot, do you know why an arm? We keep this joke clean, but you can change it to a pickle. Can't be more than 30.4 centimeters because then it's a foot. Okay.
Do you know why dark is spelled with a K and not a C?
Why dark is spelled with a K and not a C? Mm-hmm. No.
Because you can't see in the dark.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Emperor of I've heard of this. Family used Avengers Endgame to celebrate the New Year, so when Tony Stark snapped his fingers, it was the New Year. That's very cool. Cool, Emperor. Emperor used my Eye of the Agamotto. It turned out great. Glad to hear it. That was a fun one to build. My first real good prop build with a resin printer. And with that joke, I'm off as well, Groot. Take care, everyone. Schultz out. Good night, Schultz. Secret compartment of the Predator Gauntlet. And Emperor's like how to make secret compartments for Comic-Con props. Maybe. For me, I think that would be stuff I just work into what I was doing. So it's past our 2 o'clock. Felicia will probably be back in 2 weeks. I intend on live streaming again, not next week, but the Sunday after. So that's going to be like the 20th, I think. In that area. Looks like Dan's looking it up, which is pretty awesome.
I am pushing other buttons I don't want to.
He is such a great moderator, even on screen. He's helping me keep my ass in line.
What day is it?
What day is it? It's
19th?
19th? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So, going to be live streaming again on Sunday the 19th. As of right now, I suspect Felicia is willing to be part of that. As always, I never want to hold her to it because I feel incredibly lucky that she's been willing to stick with me for as long as she has to do the live streams, because none of us make money doing this. So, she doesn't get paid. Dan doesn't get paid. They're spending their own gas to come out here and hang out with us. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. So in 2 weeks, we'll be back again with more live stream. And Felicia and I have already talking about the Proton Pack. We didn't touch it today. Maybe, hopefully, on the 19th, we'll take some of the tape and actually start working on the Dan cables again. Good night, everyone. Everyone sleep tight. And
Good night, good morning, good afternoon.
yes, good evening, good night. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you again in 2 weeks.